Hello!
Hello!
Welcome to our show.
This is the Knitting a Good Yarn podcast. I'm Jackie.
I'm Carmen.
And we're coming to you from Southern Ontario with a knitty, chatty.
Yep. No fibery on my end, I don't think.
Maybe fibery on my end. Podcast.
This is my first time, so we just got to get, we started this and getting everything set up. This is my first time looking at us together. Jackie. Look at you! You're not allowed to be this tanned.
I've been away.
Woo!
I've been away
Like
in
ghost.
the sunshine. Okay, I don't know as far as it goes, but we are actually usually the same.
We're more of the same. There's not
Yeah.
Pizza. Sorry about the dogs.
Oh, right. Okay. So if this is your first time here, welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Oh God, what's the admin?
Well, you were gonna say you were away. Oh, were you gonna say what?
Oh
you
yeah.
heard?
Yeah. So.
Okay, we do the admin first.
Let's do the admin first.
I can tell. You're like, okay, wait.
I'm like, wait, what?
So we're a knitting podcast. We follow similar kind of podcasty rules, we're going to talk about what we've knit and our whips and plans and that kind of thing. We don't do it in a very structured order. Things are all over the place. We are a one-shot podcast, so we just press record, and then once we're done, we upload it. We don't even look at it. And we chat a lot. Like when we say chatty, we're like, no, really
What do you
chatty.
think the proportion is of chatting versus knitting?
We're chatting about
We're always
the
chatting
knits.
about knitting.
Well, and sometimes we're also both psychotherapists, and so we chat about that too. And we go for 3.5 hours, it seems like nowadays. So get something nice. I'm getting it all in.
You get all in.
Jackie does chapters, so you can stop and start. You can just go through. And my dogs. They will calm down. Pizza for some reason gets very stressed when Jackie's here. I don't understand it. You can see how beautiful a soul and gentle a soul she is, and I don't understand why pizza is a problem. Pizza! But yes, because it's long, obviously, if you want to stop and start, it's going to be hopefully easy for you to get back into things or just skip things or whatever. And all the information is in the show notes, which you can find in the little arrow, depending on what you're looking at this, but something underneath where it says more, that's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So,
Come here, baby.
I know that we tend to chat quickly, and so designer names and pattern names get mispronounced or get thrown out there. So if there's anything that you're looking for, it's in the description box, and I forget stuff all of the time. And recently it's been a very community effort that people are like, "Durr, what did you say?" And what yarn did you use? We forget a whole pattern name and a whole designer name because we get overzealous. So if that's the case,
3.5 hours for her to get through.
just leave us a comment below, and I'll make sure to get that information so that if there's something that you see that you are inspired by or want to knit, you too can knit the thing.
Wonderful.
Okay, so I have been away for 3 weeks.
Yes.
And I want to preface this episode by saying that I don't have a lot of finished objects. This is the longest I have gone without knitting.
You didn't knit when you were there?
I didn't knit for probably the longest stint that I've ever
How long
gone.
have you been?
2 weeks probably. So this was a total my fault kind of situation. So I had a knit. I'm testing a knit that had really tiny needles, and I was I'm just gonna bring this beautiful simple stockinette thing and work on it while I'm away. And then I didn't check the airplane rules, and I travel with my needles
all the time.
all of the time. I have not. I cannot remember. So my metal Chiagu needles.
Yes.
And I have carried those I don't know. I get on a plane probably 6 times a year, and not once have I run into trouble. And
neither.
this time,
Oh my God.
first leg, they confiscated my needles, and I was traveling places where there's no yarn shops, where there were no yarn shops. I mean, it was a great time away. It was relatively remote, no yarn shops. I had no cell signal. And most of the places didn't have Wi-Fi that could even support Instagram. I couldn't I would open Instagram and it would be one box and then the circle. And so I feel a little bit I've been in a knitting void for the past 2 weeks. And then I got home and the first thing I did was
Yes.
so I have a few finished objects, but mostly it's gonna be the Carmen show. And I thought, and because I didn't have a bunch of stuff, I brought some things that maybe we'll talk about. Maybe we'll do a whip down, or you can all help me out of what feels like a little bit of a knitting. Am I gonna say?
Bum, bum, bum.
Like, I don't know.
Your mojo?
Mm-hmm. Like, and I was reflecting on, I was like, okay, this has literally never happened to me. And I realized it's because I haven't been with the community for a while.
Yeah.
And I was away swimming with whales, like on the water for 6 to 7 hours a day.
Do it.
And so like knitting and I just like,
Those
no,
don't
like
go together.
they don't go together.
They really don't go
and I was
together.
having a wonderful time and felt really unplugged and didn't have any knitting needles and also didn't have access to the internet even to like look at patterns or like think about yarn. And I was like, I missed it, but I was also like, I
can live without it.
I just need to put it on the side for now. And then I got home like 3 days ago and knew we were gonna podcast, and I was like, what am I doing with my knitting? What am I doing with my knitting? I don't know.
With your knitting?
I don't know
It's
what I'm and I was gonna say that I feel like I'm in a little bit of a knitting rut. I don't think that that's accurate. I also don't think that I've like lost my knitting mojo. I think I am without direction. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
It's
that
like,
makes sense. Yes, there's nothing, the momentum is
yeah,
gone.
right.
And you have nothing to reignite it right now that's really getting it going.
Yeah.
And then once that's moving again, it probably each feeds into the next, right?
Yes, and I think it's a little bit of like, I don't know if this ever happens to any of you, but like you finish a really epic project and then you're like, what am I gonna cast on next?
Mm-hmm.
And because there's so much to cast on or so much to
Yes.
make, you're like,
Paralyzed.
I don't even know where to start. And
Yeah.
I think that that's where I am.
That makes sense.
So I have this like,
Yeah.
all the things, everything that like before I left, when it was like the dead of winter,
Yeah.
I wanted to knit. Now like it's like 10 degrees Celsius. Like, you know, spring is not here. The magnolia
Feeling it though.
has buds and the little like bulbs are poking up.
It's
So
happening.
now I feel like everything that I really wanted to knit from before,
Yeah.
like
It's too heavy for this
doesn't
time.
apply for this time.
Maybe
So-
this is good though, timing. I mean, it's not good in terms of, I guess, that like desire to like get right back into the knits you already have. But at least if you are in this kind of needing to get it moving, at least it's spring knits, because those are smaller generally. Like they don't take as much. If you,
Yes.
I mean, yes, you could make an epic spring, you know, 30 stitch gauge, you know, project. Yeah, yeah. You could do those things, but you could also just like make a quick something, right? Or make a little tank. Just get it going again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I might have gone maybe one day without knitting. I feel like there was a day somewhere in the last 5 years where I didn't knit. Like one, maybe two. Like even when I was even when I was so sick in December, I still like tried.
Yeah. The longest I have
I
ever
can't even
gone
imagine.
without needles. I was like,
Wow.
I was so devastated when they took them away. I was just like, what am I gonna do? I had like I don't know, what was my transit? I had like an 8-hour flight followed by 10 hours in the car, and I was like, what am I gonna do with myself if you took my stuff
I
away?
cannot even.
And I was like, but it was in a country that I was like, okay, you just don't really advocate
Right.
in a place like
You
this.
don't-
Like
you don't wanna be
and,
sent
like,
to the
I
other room.
And I also like understood. They're like, what is this? And it's like attached to like a cord, and they're like, we're gonna have to take this. And I was like, but and then he started to like pull the thing out. I'm like, no. And just like they were interchangeable, so I was just like, you can take those.
Give me the cord.
And the guy was like, yeah, you definitely can't take this in. And I was like, valid.
Valid. I mean, what size
Valid.
needles were they?
5s.
What? Okay. I thought you were gonna say like they were like size 2s, like, you know, 2.2.
Oh, you think from like a
7.5.
like
Yeah, like the
knitting needles are dangerous?
Absolutely. The smaller,
Yeah.
the pointier.
I was like, Xiaogu lace, you're so pointy, and I love you so much, but
You need to get some crappy like Michael's one, and it's like rounded edge, you know? It'd be
or like go back to bamboo. I like my metal needles though. In any case, lesson
well,
learned.
it's done.
Lesson learned. Bring a hat, pattern on wooden needles.
Right. Yeah, and bring something in your check luggage.
That said, I do have a WIP, and I got home and was like,
did you finish it?
almost. I almost finished it, but I didn't
speedy
quite finish
knitter.
it. In any case.
Can you tell me about this? Because I am just
buttons. Okay. Immediate distraction. Distraction. Okay. So this is my one of 2 finished objects for today. 3.
It is so beautiful. It's like a beautiful spring.
Thank you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I love this sweater. I finished it before I left. And it is my favorite construction of the contiguous sleeve with like a little something extra.
That's so pretty.
So this is the Cambersands sweater by Coco Amour Knitwear.
Yes! That's what I was wondering if it was this!
I knit it in Sonder Fleece and Flax, which is the
linen, BFL linen.
BFL linen.
75% BFL, 25% linen. Oh, this never happens.
In the colorway Window Shopping, held with one strand of Halo, in the color Ghosted, from Sonder, which I wasn't sure about the color combination.
Oh yeah, no, it's so good.
But I'm really happy with how it turned out, because the Window Shopping is more like teal leaning, and Ghosted is really more like blue-gray. But I had both in my stash, and I was like, I can make it happen.
And it's so spring-like. Like you can just feel, it's so interesting to put the linen with mohair, because in some ways those are very different aims. Like mohair makes it, warmer and fluffier, obviously, and then linen has that other feel.
Yeah, and I actually love the fabric that it makes.
It's
so wonderful.
It's so drapey.
Thank you. It's so drapey. It's knit on a fairly large needle size, so it's a US 8 or 5.0 millimeter needle, and I think the pattern designer used like the sample was knit in mohair plus like Issy-er
because it was very drapey.
Which was like a single ply, and so I thought, you know, it's a single ply and it doesn't like poof a ton, and so I was like, I could do this, and this was my effort to knit something that was like semi-transitional.
Yes, and you nailed it. Like,
Thank
this is such a spring sweater to me. In this color, in that drape, in this like openness of the fabric.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
And I feel like from what I remember from last year, the garments that I knit out of the Fleece and Flax base, it just gets drapier and softer like linen does, but it doesn't lose its shape.
Yes.
And it doesn't like get larger, but it just like gets drapier and softer even more. This was such a fun, like meditative knit, because essentially what you're doing, it's knit in the round, you cast on the ribbing, it's this contiguous sort of sleeve. There is a section of knitting flat, like for the arm opening, and then you're back in the round for the body, you're back in the round for the arms. And I feel like it went super fast, one because it's on like large size needles. The gauge was 17 by 27. But also if you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you're only doing 8 cable crosses, like 8 rows. So it's mostly really meditative because you're like knitting stockinette, but like you know where you're getting to something. And I was like, just one more, just one more. And I love that it's like classic, but like has a little bit of interest. And when I was looking at the yarn, what it reminded me of, the like teal Window Shopping, or the teal leaning blue that was Window Shopping, and then the Ghosted, is it reminds me of what certain lakes in Ontario look like on a cloudy day.
You are so poetic. Like, how beautiful. That's so true.
And it was
by the lake.
Pisces season, which was like water, and I was like, I want a Pisces season knit, and so this is the one. I'm so happy with it. I honestly can see myself knitting this a bunch more times. Yeah. I really love it in this color, but I also feel like it'd be really stunning in like a deep saturated rich.
Oh yeah, and
color.
She did it in a camel color, I think.
Yeah,
which I also love.
That
has been. I've been wanting to knit this. Oh, now I really wish I knit it.
You can try it on in a second. Hang on, let me pull up the sample. I really did love her sample as well. It was on my to knit list. It's funny because this pattern has been around like for a little while. Yeah. And it's been in my queue.
I know.
For like some time. And it's funny how certain patterns, like, I really do feel a little bit like I woke up one day and I was like, this is the happening. One. So There's her sample.
See,
it's in this like beautiful.
You needed that drape. Like that's why I feel like you nailed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, without getting the same yarn, right? You nailed exactly what it needed.
Yeah. So what was I gonna say? In this pattern, this sort of like cable pattern is also available in another, like another designer also used this pattern. This like, sort of like it's stockinette with like cables every so really often. Neat. Yeah. Which was a pattern that was also in my queue that I was gonna knit by Ozetta. Like Haley Smedley also has one. Her gauge is smaller. It's like 20 by 30, and it's a drop shoulder as opposed to this like contiguous sort of sleeve. I think there are some short rows in the back, and I just love the fit. I have thought actually about like this might be the staple sweater pattern that I use, whether I do the cables or not, but just for the shape because I feel like the shape is perfect. The way that the neckline sits is perfect.
And the way the boxy nature of it, and and it fits actually really nicely under your arms, which sometimes it can be too long for you, right?
Too long, yeah. So, highly recommend.
Yeah.
Just love.
Oh,
Especially
if it's a quick knit too. I'm in a quick knit phase. Like I really like a little I like that.
I mean, 17. It's funny because I feel like it's like kind of an in-between gauge because like the stitch gauge is like 17, which to me is like, I don't know, in my head, 15 is quick and like 18 is like regular and then like 20 something is like tiny in my mind.
Really? I feel like 20 to 22 would be kind of 20 maybe to regular. This was 22, but it felt longer.
Once we get to 20, I'm like, that's basically fingering in my mind. But then the row gauge was more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it took
like
a lot
27.
of time.
It took more time than
a lot of time. It took a lot of time.
But again, it'll be interesting to see. I do have thoughts about wanting to just do a basic one without the cables, but I wonder if without the cables it won't go as fast because there's not that like, ooh, I just want to like get to the next one.
I also wonder if it would change the shape too because it is
pulling
it in a little bit,
it is pulling it in.
Like,
maybe that's why I love it so much.
I love cables like this. I knit a sweater. I still wear it and I should bring it up, but like this is one way before the knitting, like I got really into knitting again. It was like a Debbie Bliss pattern from an Erin book. So cool. But anyway, like really wide, like large cables that are like really stretched so that you have the crosses happening.
Like there's a lot of rows between
like you're not getting that look of like the really like classic cables with the like braid. You have to look. I feel like here you have to look to see that there is still the braid is happening, but to me I see instead almost like these little birds, that are like just kind of like these little things.
I love so much. What was I gonna say? Oh, okay, so if you want to knit this sweater, the pattern is super clear. It's really well written. There are no charts, but it's the same cable pattern again and again. What I will say is use stitch markers. I thought that I would be able to read
like where the cross would be,
and invariably I had to rip back a couple of times because I was like, does that line up? Are you off a little bit? Is that gonna bother me? Yes, it's gonna bother me.
Yeah,
so
that's not one of those ones you could be like.
Now 8 cable crosses down, did I ever put in stitch markers? No.
But next time, future jacking,
everyone else
to benefit from them.
Use stitch markers. I had like beginning of round and the other side, like I'm halfway and I was like, I'll be fine, but no, use stitch markers, friends. I don't know why. I don't know what the resistance is to it.
I put them in any time possible. I love stitch markers.
I feel like moving the stitch marker from one needle to the other is not as like meditative as like going around.
Okay, fair. It's not, and it does slow down. Like I know it's like microseconds, but it does. It slows things down.
But it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's like I'm in a flow and then I have to pause, and then I'm in a flow and then I have to pause.
Okay,
and that's why. But don't do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. You know, it's not as meditative. Even worse is ripping.
That's so true.
That's very unmeditative, especially with mohair.
But last thing that I'll say is that this yarn combo I feel like is gonna be I'm gonna be using a bunch of it. Ooh. What happened? I don't know. I feel like the table like completely rocked back. Anyway. Maybe I imagined it.
Oh.
But yeah, so really, really fun knit. Love it.
Do you know that I really like this tiny little hem? What do we call these? What is this? Is this the hem? What is this? The cuff? Cuff. What's the English? Look at how it's only like a
Yes, it's very satisfying that it's like teeny tiny.
2 centimeters.
What I will say is kind of amusing is that the body is knit on a US 8 and I think the ribbing is knit on a US 3. Like there's like a huge difference. I was like, just trust the pattern.
Absolutely.
But
It's
it
so
looks
funny.
really nice.
You can't tell. Like to be honest, I don't. Yeah, that's wild. Is this moving again?
I don't know.
Are you
I feel like it's doing this. Maybe I still feel like I'm
think
on a
you're
boat.
still on. Yeah, I think you've got your sea legs still. Like
Look.
Oh. Oh, it is.
Sorry, friends. Sorry that
Sorry,
you
you're
are on a
moving every
boat.
time. Sorry.
But
We'll just try not to touch the table. This is an old table
It's
like that we
beautiful, I
got
love
like secondhand, and we've been trying to just keep together, and
it's still together.
yeah, but I mean literally we had to put some new nails in or screws in just the other day. So maybe we need a few more.
That's why. Do you want to try it on or do you want to talk about yours and then we'll do a flip?
No,
Okay.
I want to try it on. Whoa. as we leave the scene. Thank you. Whoops. Okay, Carmen always.
You got
this
it.
is right?
Yeah.
Okay. I always get it wrong, and then I'm often having to. Oh. Oh. It's so cute, isn't it? I like it when you can see through. It looks like you can kind of see.
Yeah, you can.
Through?
It's a little
Love
bit
that.
sheer.
Oh.
Oh, it looks so good.
I have wanted to knit this sweater, and now I know I need to knit this sweater.
I really like that color blue in your hair.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
really nice.
Ah,
It reminds me, I mean, it's similar because you said stormy weather was your? No,
ghosted.
ghosted, yes, and ghosted, sorry. I think that's what I did my sweater 28 in.
You got it.
So this has like the same kind of, like, I love that. That is so pretty, Jackie. Always too short. Well,
I feel like
sometimes
that
I
is,
like it that short.
I knit those sleeves longer and the body longer than I usually do.
Really?
Yeah,
actually,
but I
fair
liked
enough.
it. I liked it.
Oh, I like it too. So it's very, I can concur that it is very light. It feels like a beautiful sweater you would put on in an evening, you know, when you're like out at let's say a barbecue or something, and it's gonna get a little bit cooler in the evening.
Yeah, it's perfect. For me, I feel like it is, because when I've knit with DK and Mohair, and that's definitely very toasty.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like the temperature on this is just so perfect.
It's really nice.
It's like the perfect
feels like it's
Shavasana
just
sweater.
Airy. Like it doesn't feel like I'm wearing, funny enough, this is like similar weight. It would have been the same
Ooh.
weight, but this feels heavier than this does.
I forgot to say how much yarn I used.
Okay.
Basically 2 skeins of the Fleece and Flax and 2 skeins of the Halo, just under. I probably had, I'll put it in the show notes, but I had like probably 5 grams and 10 grams of each left. 2 skeins of fingering.
Well, add this to the queue. I hope you guys are enjoying this because Jackie's making it again and so am I.
Yeah. What color would you do? I kind of like it in the light color, but I also feel like I want to do like a plummy.
Oh, I think that, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong. As you'll see, I'm kind of in a phase of doing the same colors as the designers. Like,
Yeah.
so I could consider, now Camel, that kind of gold that she did it in it would probably not look good on me, but I may just do that anyway, because I'm also in a phase of saying, F that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have it, even if it doesn't, even if it looks, makes me look wan.
I thought. We have over the years used a lot of different words to say not good. I don't know if we've used one before,
I don't know,
but
that
it
just
is
came up.
really descriptive.
And as soon as I said it, I'm like, is that even the right word? I think that is.
I think so also.
This is one of those times I would be using it if I had the chance. I would like literally go to like I'd go def one on my like Google, be like, make sure that I've got the definition.
one.
Yeah.
Like, def one?
Def one. Anyway, But I can't do that. So hopefully that was correct. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Looking
this
like
is
I'm
definitely
sickly.
one of those words. I feel like especially short words are the ones that I question myself on. I'm like, is that right?
You know, when in doubt though, you just say it with authority and you just go like, you know, and then people probably are like, maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe Juan does mean what she thinks it is.
Unless you're on the Knitting Good Yarn podcast and
And then you're like, don't
we're
trust that.
Wait a second. Like I would like, you didn't let it go and then I couldn't let it go. This is why our podcast is 3 hours long.
This is
30 seconds about Juan that you'll never get back.
Never get back. You're welcome. You're welcome. And we don't even have a conclusion to it because we can't even tell you whether it's the right thing. I would like to know what proportion of people right now are Googling
definition
Def Juan.
Def Juan.
You don't even have to write definition. You'd have to like DEF, whatever word, and then it pops up.
Who knew? I have never shortened definition to def before.
Well, some
we
of
go.
us have things to do, Jackie. Some of us have busy lives.
Have some knitting to get done.
That's true. It's taking my hand time. Another
Taking
aside.
my hand time.
It does. That's actually a real thing because, as another aside, my Siri hates me. She just doesn't listen to me. Ever. I actually have to scream at her. I'm like, Siri, I need you to listen. And then she goes, yes, hello.
So she hates you like she
I go,
has
Siri,
selective
blah, blah,
hearing?
blah. 0. Siri, do. Nothing.
But
And
does
then
she
I yell at her.
understand you when you say stuff to her?
When
like
I
if you say Siri search def one,
Nothing.
how many how many synonyms are there? Like Siri could put in like DEAF and then the number
Siri
one.
doesn't even wake up. This is what I'm saying. She's not like, what is that car? Like, she's like not even there. And then my daughter she can testify to this because we're like in the car a few times because obviously I'm not going to use my like phone in the car, but we might want to play something on the phone, like a music. And I'll be like, Siri, play blah, blah, blah. Nothing. Siri, play. Try 3 times. Then I'm like, Siri, listen to me. And then she goes, hello, what can I do? And I go,
Why did you make me yell,
yes.
Siri?
Why did you make me yell, Siri? Why do you hate me? So anyway, the reason I'm saying that is that I have to use my hands. I can't just be like, I can't be knitting and go, hey Siri, tell me like, and by the way, how many times have I said Siri? And nothing on this
Does
phone.
Siri turn off during video though?
I don't know. But
Your Siri is like on vacation
She's
half
like
the time.
all
She's
the
like, excuse me, I am knitting in cyberspace.
she's like,
And I cannot
hands
use my
are
Siri fingers to look up what it is that you are wanting to look up.
This is true. This is true. Okay, so definitely knit this. I would like to knit this. She had a sale on, and that was when I stocked up on all of her patterns. And I grabbed this one.
She's like a new. I'll follow her on social media. This is the first pattern of hers I've knit. She has a lot of beautiful classics with the twist.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
I mean, I know she had a bit of a thing.
Well, I know.
Yeah, where she but I guess to speak to her integrity, right?
Yeah.
She, I guess, had this beautiful pattern, and then it ended up being similar to an older pattern. I think very old, and it's different in gauge and all of these things. But she
construction.
But
the color work is similar.
Yeah.
So
she chose not to publish it at
I
all.
know.
I don't know. I have feelings about that.
I also
like
have
there's
feelings about
space
that.
for this.
I feel, I don't know, because when that happened was also when I was knitting this, and as I mentioned, Ozetta has a similar pattern which she has stockinette and cables.
Yeah.
But to me, like different gauge, different construction,
They're different.
and I understand how much work putting a pattern together is.
Yes.
I also, we talk about this book a lot on this podcast, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. It's this idea that creativity or like ideas are kind of like floating around.
They're like beings.
They're
on
like
their own.
beings, then they float around and, are looking for somebody to land on it and decide to invest in it. And I just think, I don't know to what extent knitwear designers are influenced by like fashion.
I think probably a lot.
Probably a lot.
Like most designers are.
Right. Like, I mean, we don't exist in a vacuum.
No, then we wouldn't talk about trends.
Yeah.
Or like what's hot this season or what's coming up. Like all these fashionistas, right? All these people,
Yes.
like they talk because there is an ethos that moves together.
And even if you're not somebody who, let's say, is like, oh, spring is coming, let me check the colors. Like, if you are connected to the internet, then you're going to be sort of consuming things in the way that, like, you know, ideas and imagery sort of embeds itself into our subconscious. And then, like, 8 months later, I'm like, oh, I just knit Carmen's sweater, but I didn't realize I knit Carmen's sweater.
All the time.
Which is all the time.
Yeah.
I really feel for that. I really feel for the challenges of that, let's say.
Me too.
There's definitely overt moments of plagiarism, which is, you know, horrible and totally different from what we're speaking
and people
about.
sharing free patterns and stuff, like not sharing paid patterns, giving them away for free.
Yeah,
that's totally different.
But I expect, you know, I feel like this, like some version of this happens in my life in which you've been like working on something and then you see that somebody else has put out basically the same thing and you're like, do I not have an original thought? Yeah. Or is it just that like certain things are beautiful and they make sense from a knitting perspective, you know?
I also think that beyond, you're right that we get influenced even in things we don't even notice. So that's part of the reason I think that things happen at the same time. But I also think there is this like creative energy, right, that exists as this like wave that's coming over everybody. So while when it's landing on some people, it's also landing on others.
Yeah.
And it's like disparate humans it's just like science, right, where you have people coming up with discoveries in different parts of the world at the same time, and they never had any interactions with each other. You know? Anyway, that's that. Again, we're a little tangential, sorry. But I did want to say something because I just feel like I feel really bad. I feel like that's a lot of work, and there should be space to actually, like science, you know, somebody will do a study, right? And then actually in science, you want people to do the study again in their way so that you could, like, obviously a knitwear does not need to have that, but you know, there's space, I think, to grow from people's ideas. And if we see it as a collective, if you're not stealing, like you wouldn't want to just steal somebody's ideas.
Yeah, I think that there's no, like I was reflecting on when Cheryl was like, I'm not gonna publish it. I was reflecting on like what that brought up for me as somebody who like doesn't create knitwear patterns, but like it, you know, I consider part of my work creative. Yes. And I thought like, gosh, it's such a hard scenario because on the one hand, if you say like, I'm not going to spend all of my time, you know, like looking at other knitwear designers' designs so that I don't, you know, get undue influence.
Right. How can we do that?
One, I feel like that feels very isolating. It doesn't like feel great. Yeah. I can see how that might support a certain kind of creative process. Yeah. At the same time, it also leads one to then not be aware of what other designers are designing, and so then I can't imagine the experience of being like, oh no, like, oh no, just make the same thing. Oh no,
yeah, I swear I didn't see your thing. I've been isolating myself. Yeah,
you know. Exactly. And when I think about things like color work, like, yes, like there's an infinite number of different color work patterns. There's also certain
a lot of motifs
that are like that. One will knit again and again because triangles are beautiful. Like, you know what I mean?
You said, like, you know, you're saying Ozetta's pattern, you're like, which is also like cables with stockinette in between. And I kind of smiled because I'm like not just Ozetta. Like, I mean, how many patterns? That is really all it is, right? It's just proportions that change.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Should I show that picture?
Sure. You remember, like, names so well. I'd be like, what was the name of that thing?
Actually, it came up because I sent a screenshot of, I sent a picture of my WIP to somebody, and they were like, oh, is that the Ozetta pattern? And I was like, the Ozetta pattern, which is in my queue. I was like,
you like what you like?
Whoopsies.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's different. It has the similar idea. I mean, we don't say this for a stockinette sweater. Like, how many crew neck stockinette sweaters are there? Or raglan stockinette? Like, they're going to be, there's only so many ways, you know? And like, but there are also like infinite numbers of ways. They just don't look very different from each other, but they are very different.
I also think, again, knitting is a funny sort of industry because it's visual and tactile.
Yes.
And I do think that like sometimes part of the genius of a design is the yarn choice.
Yes, I see.
Right, like you were talking about how like, oh, it's the drape, and I didn't really think super hard about it when I chose it. It just felt like, oh, this is the right thing. But her, you know, Ozetta's is in like a really round, like cozy kind of yarn, and I love that pattern as well. But what I wanted was something breezy, and so, you know, what does a designer like own, or like what part of a finished object is the designer's like artistic decision making, I guess. I know.
Well, food for thought.
Food for thought.
Yes.
Big
We
tangent.
are very like grateful to designers.
I know, my
thank
gosh,
you. We say it every time, but thank you, designers, for doing the work you do. You're not paid
Nearly enough
for all of the stuff that you do and what you put out there and all your integrity. So
art is so hard to monetize. I mean, we won't go down that rabbit hole of like just monetization in general, but I feel like art in particular is so difficult to monetize.
Absolutely. Oh, it's getting very sunny. Hello.
Oh my God, yes, please.
I did it.
Ugh,
I finished.
the button choice. Okay,
I
so
gotta
this is
say, I
gorgeous,
know.
but the button choice, Carmen, like,
Right?
where did you get these buttons? I want those buttons.
I got them from Fabricland.
Fabricland.
So I have become a Fabricland member. I can't remember. It's called a certain thing, and then it's like it gives you 50% off everything. So oh my God, the button. Do you know how many buttons I have as options? Like I just bought 1 million buttons, but I'm really happy.
I
with
feel
these.
so it's a gorgeous knit, and I feel like the buttons just like
make it.
Well,
It's
they
so funny buttons
up-levels it.
because they change. It changed the look. So because I had a few other options, ones that were actually more this color, like just lots of different possibilities. But yeah,
so
excited. So this is my Paul vest. I did a test knit. This is for American Knit. Anyway, who is a Polish designer. And does these, I'm sure, I mean, this is part of her Paul collection, right? So there's a Paul cardigan, Paul pullover. Actually, speaking of which, by the way, she didn't just kind of make all of those ones in the same gauge. Like actually each of those patterns is quite different. Gauge-wise, fabric-wise, like they're really different patterns. Oh, I didn't even show, this is, okay, so this is sort of the Paul
signature.
The signature Paul.
This beautiful back panel. Oh my God, this yarn.
It's really lovely. It's lovely. Yeah. And just very, very tailored, very careful. When we were test knitting, she actually had us do, I had to do a swatch, but like a real swatch, like that.
What's a real swatch? Well, how big is the dimensions of a real
Actually,
swatch?
I think I still even have the swatches over there. I worked so hard on them. Yes, big enough to get it, but we had to first knit our swatch for our fabric and then add the ribbing. So wash that, block it, then add the ribbing, wash and block it to make sure that this looked like this.
Sitting beautifully. I mean, gosh.
It's really
That
really
this
pretty.
is hand
Do you
knit
see
to me
this?
is wild.
It's, I was saying the last time and it ended up being like this. I think this might be my most, not commercial, but you know, like as if I bought it like in a store.
It's like
look at that.
Your stitches, Carmen,
Look
like
really
everything
good.
is just perfect.
I know.
Like it's so tailored, it's so exact. Like a machine could have done it.
Yeah. You know, tubular, like I just did all the things. This is, oh yeah, this is kind of a cool design feature too. That it's a double knit, it's double knit here and then ribbed at the top.
Whoa.
So you're doing, yeah, like you do this up until here. I can't remember which, I think we did these and then this, but I can't remember. No, this first, then these. But yeah, so a double knit button band, but ribbed, so that it comes like around your, just fits so nicely.
These tiny little details. Yeah. Which I suspect, which I suspect for someone like you who loves to be knitting things that have like sections and segments, I expect that was quite delightful.
Yes, it was quite delightful. It also felt small. Like it's a 23 stitch gauge, but I like on size 3 needles, so 3.25.
Those are tiny.
Are they though?
That's tiny.
Like
in my mind, it's tiny.
Ooh, I think the door's open, so I think another door just got blown shut. Yeah, I don't know. It felt, but 23 does not seem like it felt like 30. even though it didn't. And it wasn't like it took a long time too. I'd have to look at my Ravelry, but I feel like it took 3 weeks maybe.
Were you working on it pretty much monotonously?
Yes, because I had to wait. So this was one, I've never had a test knit that had like yarn support. So this was, I guess she was doing it with the two companies, so Cardigan Cashmere and then Filcolana. So I ended up with the Filcolana version. And I had to wait for that to arrive, so I was like a week behind all the other testers. So I was definitely wanting to make sure I did that. So this is Filcolana Saga. I used 2.86 skeins, so just under 3. And then Filcolana Tilia, which is their Mohair versions.
Nice.
It is nice, yeah. And just over 4 skeins for that. And they were both in vintage rose, which I was also really excited. I really like this color. Like I may not have, it's not a color in the past I would have necessarily thought to choose, but I was reminded of like, you had a really cute sweater that I loved maybe a year ago. I feel like it was your first.
Oh, the Sonder yarn.
Yeah, the first, your Friday I'm in Love.
I
feel like it was your
which
first
was in Sweet
Opera?
Sweet
Tea and Opera, I think. Yeah.
I think.
And I remember putting that on and being like, oh,
Yes,
that one made me feel the opposite of Juan. it
Juan,
made me
million
feel,
bucks.
What? Wonderful. Oh, anyway.
Eat that, Siri.
There. That's right. She's still sleeping. She doesn't care. Anyway, yeah. So I'm very, very happy. This designer really puts, like, I can just say she puts everything into her designs. She is serious about them and they are really beautiful. And I find I wear this so many different ways, like with shirts underneath, but I often wear it because it's high enough. Like I wear it without stuff underneath as well. I can tuck it into pants when I have that. Wear it over a dress.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Like it's so cute. I feel like it's a vest, but I think it's one of those vests, something about like the length and the ease, and I love the shoulder. I feel like that little, like it's got like a little bit over.
Yeah.
Makes it so interesting and so versatile.
Yes. And I knit the size 3, which I think is the recommended ease.
Okay.
That she would say. And I feel like when I've looked at other testers' versions, it feels like this is kind of the look that it was. This was an interesting thing because I said yes to this test not even knowing what the sweater looked like. Like I knit it going, oh, like surprise.
I love that.
Yeah, but it was, I'm just very, very happy. I will say I do like this wool. It's very, what's the word when you get creases in it? Like
wrinkly?
Wrinkly, yeah. I'm not very careful with my knits, and most of the time my knits are fine with me doing that.
Yeah.
But this one I've had to, every time I wear it, I have to steam it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it really, and you need to because, you know, it's so clearly just like right here. So if you have like little wrinkles, it doesn't work.
Touching it, it's really, really soft, but it's interesting because it has this like spring to it that when I feel it, it's almost like velvety. If that makes sense.
Yes. And it has, I will say, I'm actually mohair sensitive. This does not feel, so Sonder yarns mohair doesn't affect, like I can wear that with no problem. I can wear this with no problem, but they are very different.
Yeah.
Like the Sonder has a much, it feels softer.
It's kitteny.
Yeah. Whereas this one is not soft, but it's not prickle. No prickle.
I was thinking about do you know what, like the Saga, like the non-fluff.
Yep.
It's like lamb's wool, correct?
It's lamb's wool.
That's why it has the spring to it.
Yeah. And non-superwash.
And non-superwash. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as a fabric, it is so well integrated. I don't know if it's because you were knitting on US 3 needles that it's so integrated. But it's a gorgeous fabric.
It is really beautiful.
23 stitches by 32 rows. Dang.
Yeah. It's not too bad though. It didn't take too long.
No sleeves.
Oh, so pretty. No sleeves. Although there was a bit of like, even the sleeves, like they're folded over.
Right?
Yeah. They're really, this looks beautiful on you. Oh my God. That looks so beautiful on you.
Thank you.
I like, actually, now I almost want it a little bit because I'm a little wider, right? Like the fact that it's coming even further off your shoulders. Oh my God, I love that.
So incredibly nice. I also adore this color. I don't know.
Yeah, this color looks amazing on you. Wonderful. $1 million. Oh, it looks so beautiful, Jackie.
It's such a nice weight.
Yes. But do you see the difference? Like, it's a weight, right?
Yeah.
Because I said that one's lighter, even though they're actually about the same weight. Because
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. This is like, yeah, about, because the Saga is 50.
Is magic.
It is magic.
I also, feeling this to me is like, I often lament double knit button bands, but man, does this double knit button band like feel so nice.
They're the best. Honestly, yeah, they're worth it.
Would I go a size down?
No.
No?
I actually almost kind of wish I went a size up. Yeah, to get it even more.
You're in the big ease. You're in a lot of ease era. For you.
I do like a lot of ease at this moment. Yes.
It's so nice.
I just really like the way it's standing out more on your shoulders. I mean, I love that on mine too, but I like that.
I do like where it hits.
It's so pretty, Jackie, and that color. It's so funny because now when I'm looking at it, you know, you look at it yourself, and I was looking at it on here, but in person I haven't really seen it, but it has there is a bluey undertone to this.
It's gorgeous.
Color. It's almost got like a mauve kind of mauve.
Yes. It looks to me like this looks to me like blush or lipstick.
Yes.
In the color of it.
Right.
Like Vintage Rose is a beautiful name. I wouldn't name it lipstick, for example, because then people would think red, but it is kind of that perfect
lips. And that's a perfect lip color, actually. I wish I could find
blush color.
Yeah.
Oh, love.
Oh, it looks really beautiful.
Love.
This like back is so pretty. And you can get this in, you know, she's now made it in so many versions, right?
They're all teeny tiny needles, I think.
I don't think so. I think she has one that is a larger
Let us investigate.
gauge. Yes.
And by let us, I mean I must investigate.
Yes, please.
This series has been on my list forever. Again, because I just think the tailoring, I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, the cardigan is 22 stitches by 32 rows.
Oh, that's even less. Yeah, because this one was 23.
It's the same. Similar, but not. And then there's also the pullover is actually the one that 22 by 31 rows.
Okay, so then I'm wrong.
But interestingly, they all have different needle sizes.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Like, they're different.
They're different. But I guess different yarn choice.
Yeah.
Different needle sizes. Yeah. Similar gauge. So interesting.
So interesting.
So interesting.
And as you were saying, it is a fun knit because you are busy. Like, you're busy doing your things. But her pattern, I said it the last time, was far in. I think I had 2 suggestions in the entire thing. And for quite a while, I was going, I want to help more, but this is a perfect pattern. Like, it's actually just completely, she really thought through a lot. And it's one of those designers that gives you a lot of checkpoints, which I appreciate. You should have this many stitches at this point.
Oh,
and these
I love
are
patterns
the stitches
like that.
in these sections.
Oh,
you know, so you know
those are
where you're
my
off.
favorite kind of patterns.
Me too. Do I always check? No, I don't. But in test knitting, I do. And it's nice to have it, especially if you mess up, right? And you're like, I feel like there's something wrong. And then you can go back and you're like, oh, I didn't end up.
I also enjoy, again, one of these weird things is I've tried the row counter. I've tried the most successful thing has been making little check boxes and ticking off, you know, when something's okay, repeat this, repeat row 1 to 4
yes.
4 times.
Yeah.
I'm not great at that. But if you give me a stitch number,
mm-hmm.
I would rather do what I think I need to do,
yes. and get to that,
and then get to that, and then pause and count the stitches, because I usually will put a light bulb stitch marker in row 1 of the pattern repeats.
Yes.
But I'm not, I don't know. Again, it takes 2 seconds, but I don't always put it from repeat to repeat.
Oh, really? I do.
I try to, but then I'm out and I've forgotten a light bulb stitch
it
marker, and I'm
on the pattern too.
and then once I've missed one, then I'm then I'm done for. Like if it's 6 repeats and I put in 1 and 2, but not the 3rd repeat, 4, 5, 6, there ain't gonna be no like level stitch markers.
Even though you're back at
right
home
there,
and they're
yeah,
right there
just like
and available, and you can easily just put the other one that you missed in. But hey,
Sure.
hey.
And then I start doing things like I'm like, okay, I'll put it in like every 2nd repeat or like every 3rd repeat. And I'm like, I don't know where I am, but thank goodness for stitch counts.
You have obviously been very successful in life with your knitting, so it's okay. You don't have to change anything.
Love. Okay, since we're on the subject of test knitting, can I show a WIP?
Yes, please.
Oh, I don't want to take this off.
I know it is really nice. Woo! Cardinal's back. Oh, there's ripping blackbirds. Spring is here. How are you guys doing? How's your tea? I'm like, just sitting. There we go. Ooh. Oh, yes.
Okay. So this is the Avenue Tea by Tori U. If I'll put a link to the other episode, Carmen knit the Avenue vest.
Yes.
Which has a similar construction, but I can confirm completely different yarn. The gauge on the Avenue vest is like DK plus.
I'm pretty sure.
Correct?
Yeah.
So this.
Oh yeah.
The fabric.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Jackie.
the fabric. Okay.
This is gorgeous.
So this is the Avenue Tea by Tori U. It's coming out, I believe, April 19th or 20th. The test deadline is the 17th, and Tori said that she'd be releasing it pretty quickly. It's on her Instagram. I'll link it below. She noted it. So this is a pattern that she designed to be like a summer top. She designed it in, she knit it in basically a fingering weight yarn. The gauge on this is 22 by 28, or like similar to this. And so I took this as an opportunity to play with one of the new bases from Sonder Yarn, which is their Haven, which is a lace-based Falkland Merino with a little bit of BFL and a little bit of Massam in it, in the colorway Offline, and then with one strand of their Mohair Halo in the color Greige. And
this is beautiful.
I just feel like the way that Tori figures out her proportions is bang on.
Brilliant.
It's just bang on.
Yeah.
So in terms of construction, you cast on.
Look at that shoulder.
Yeah. So you cast on the back, and then you're doing this contiguous sleeve similar to this. It's my favorite construction for my body.
It's so beautiful.
And I love a V-neck sweater, and we've talked about this before, struggled to find the correct depth.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was actually kind of funny because I applied for the test, and Tori sent out the schematic, and the schematic had so let me back up a second. So the Avenue Tea, the pattern comes in 2 versions. There's a crew neck version, there's a V-neck version. I wanted to do the V-neck version, and she sent out the schematic, and I was looking at the schematic, the depth of the V, and I have a couple ready to wear V-necks, and I looked at the schematic versus the V-neck that I'm like, this is work appropriate. I can make it, and the schematic was a little bit larger.
Yep.
So I sent a message to Tori, and she's like, oh no, the schematic doesn't include the ribbing, and it just made the ribbing actually does make a difference. And she's since adjusted it, but oh my goodness, do I think I'm gonna be knitting a gajillion of these, because it just is.
It's so beautiful.
Classic, perfect. So good.
God.
So good.
It's so pretty. So how much longer? So you're not finished.
I'm not finished.
How much longer are the sleeves?
Good question. I asked Tori if I can knit it as a long sleeve. So
because Jackie's never gonna do the pattern just as the pattern.
It's true.
This was getting too close to her getting that whole
thing. I don't really wear
thing
t-shirts. It's just not. I wear tanks and sleeveless tops, or I wear long sleeves. That said, now that I'm looking at it, I think there's not much more if I were to do it as a t-shirt.
It's beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
And again, to Tori, to Tori's credit, like the way that she proportions all of her knits.
Yes, I know they fit.
They just
trust her.
Fit so well.
It's so true.
And so talk about like a instant classic. For me, I feel like this is an instant classic. I might end up doing it as a tee because I feel like it looks so good.
It really does.
And that it's so light and lovely. I mean,
you know, you could do it as a tee, see, right? And then if you're like, I can't, I try to wear it and I have no space to wear a knit tee, because I feel like that's the problem, because it's like, when are you going to wear it where you want to be warm enough but not too warm kind of thing?
Yeah.
But if you find out, what if you find out that you actually do wear it? And so if you found out you didn't wear it, you can just easily take out the like thing and just then you knit the sleeves.
I could do that if I were someone who ever went back to fix knits.
True. That one is an easy, like, it's one thing if I have to lengthen something and take off all its ribbing and then all of it, you know, like, but if you're basically just.
Yeah,
it's so pretty.
you know, some of you will notice that what I've been knitting have mostly been basics, like that sort of what I wanted to do was one of my like, not knitting intentions, but one of the things that I started to want to do probably like at some point last year was like, I want to knit into my work wardrobe, because I just want to be wearing hand knits like all of the time. And this to me is like the classic thing.
Go for brunch. Actually, well, Tori just was on her honeymoon, right? And she went Taiwan, I think a few places, but like the Taiwan, and she's showing these, like she wore her Avenue tee all the way through.
And so hers, like I said, it was like, it's knit in summer fabric.
Right.
But because I thought that I wanted to have this as a like transitional sort of like layer, that's why I made the choice of lace plus mohair to get sort of a fingering weight gauge.
Yeah.
But
yes.
20, like this, I understand the whole phenomenon of people saying like, you know, small gauge, small needles, but the finished product is completely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh.
It really is.
It really is. And there's something about a strand of fluff that to me makes the investment worth it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true. It's true.
It just creates that extra like little layer of like luxury.
It's the layer of luxury, but I think it also like smooths everything out.
It does.
Like,
it helps with the
especially with like very
stitches.
like thin yarn that you're using. Like if I show a whip later, actually, I was just gonna say, this one is just fingering on its own.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well,
Also tiny needles.
Very tiny, but you can see it's more. The
it's
mistakes
less forgiving.
are not mistakes, but like everything that's not exactly the same.
Yeah, and this is steam blocked. It's not even wet blocked, and I'm sure that once it wet blocks the fabric, it's gonna be even more amazing. So what do you think,
Jackie? I love it.
Tee?
I think tee.
Tee or long sleeve?
I think you have enough long sleeves.
It's true.
Of these. Now, if you end up doing a long sleeve, it's all good. But I think you should try as a tee. See. Because like this is not that far from that. And I'm throwing this over a lot of things, especially at this time. Maybe dead of summer, no. But
I feel like honestly, dead of summer, no shade to those of you who do summer knits.
Yeah.
Dead of summer outside, I don't know that there's a knit fabric that I want.
yeah, agreed. I think it's really hot here.
Like I've been in the tropics.
Right.
And this is part of the reason why I also feel like, you know, I didn't have needles. I also wasn't thinking about knitting, but it's also like melting.
Yes. You don't
And
want
I was
that.
like, I'm not thinking about things anymore.
I was just thinking,
transitional, yes.
With I think they're upstairs, or I would have you try them on. Maybe they're not. My long gloves, like the mittens. Like if it's cold, right? You can just throw it on.
I also think that this might be the perfect sort of like layering piece.
That with, what I would do is I'd be wearing this, I'd put on my Turtle Dove cardi, which comes down to about here, and then I've been wearing my my gloves that go underneath it, my mittens, the long Polymnia mitts by Nordlin.
I'll link. We showed them on the last
Please,
episode.
all of you knit this. Knit those knits. I wear them constantly. Anyway, it's not about me right now. I love this.
No, I mean,
I think it's beautiful.
The most classic.
And can I say, because I knit the Avenue vest, like this, you can see this, this is different.
The ribbon, is it?
The ribbing, well, because of the way she does it, I feel like, I mean, I guess you could see it, but I don't want to say what it is, but you can
different
see
from the Avenue?
No, it's the same as the Avenue, but it's different from what you would normally do
Yes,
as
and
a
this
ribbon.
finishing, I just will come close. Like this finishing, is it not so neat
Precise.
and gorgeous? You know, everyone's like, well, not everyone, but I think that there's a there's this like, if you want it to look perfect and finished, you do tubular.
Right.
And I don't disagree, especially if you're good at a tubular. Like my tubular is not
great at tubular.
So like it's not
Oh,
terrible,
that's
but it's definitely not as neat as this.
right.
And
it's
this
just
is a
unique way
finishing,
to
yeah,
do
it's a
it.
unique finishing technique that I was like, put that in my knitting pocket, and I'll be using this again because look how good it looks.
It is. It's so nice.
So let me know, friends. Should I do the tee? Should I do the long sleeve?
Sorry, I just
should
inhaled my
you-
saliva.
And should you knit this? Yes. You should.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should.
I've decided, I feel like I should just knit all of Tori's patterns. Like, even ones that like don't jump right out necessarily, because the thing is, as we're talking about, they are staples.
And
So they're not like where you're gonna be
meticulously
like,
shaped.
yes, but you don't, they're not
Meticulously
necessarily gonna make you go like, oh, like that. But when you do, you go, how did I not have this in my wardrobe? Like, I love this.
Yes, the shaping on the V-neck is easy to follow, but it has different intervals, which make for,
Yes.
I think, and like the way that this
Yes.
just like lays on a shoulder, like,
Absolutely gorgeous.
I can't wait for this to be done. This is one of those like gonna wear all the time, and this is also a fabric combination that I love.
I am so
I
glad
love.
that Melissa came out with that. Oh, I want to try it. Well, should I try it now or later?
Yeah.
It's pretty much done because we all know she's going to try it with the tea. Aren't you all going to go like, yes, Carmen, you're so smart. Follow what Carmen says. Mm. Oh, pretty. That's so pretty. I think,
How
I don't
do
know
you
if this
feel?
color works for me, but I love the tea.
How do you feel about the fabric?
It's so light. It's so pretty. I'm kind of wondering if I would do, you're right, I am in this phase of like
You want one
more
size,
ease.
one
Yeah,
size
like
more.
one size bigger for me,
Yeah.
I think would be. But it's so pretty.
Oh, now that you have it on, I can
Now you can exactly when
examine my
somebody else-
handiwork.
Look at your, like, look at this. That is what's, I was just,
This shoulder.
shoulder is so pretty.
This
That's
shoulder.
coming out. Beautiful, Jackie. Beautiful.
I do believe that I'm gonna be on a lace plus mohair instead of a fingering weight yarn kick for a while.
Well, and I feel like that's actually, you are really into you have been.
Yeah, I've
into
been
mohair
really into mohair for a while.
This, probably the last year or so, maybe. And this would be a way to have it still do that, but spring version.
Yeah.
It is so, look at how classic, like this is just, you just look like put together with this kind of stuff, right?
I think like Petite Knit is a designer that gets a lot of play for like, you know, you could have bought it in the store,
Yes.
like workwear.
Yeah.
I've oddly not knit one of her patterns.
I've only now done the Sophie scarf. That's
Yeah,
it.
and I think a lot of her patterns are, like I think about the no frill sweater, which is a raglan, which is like one of her most popular patterns that I think like it's not that revolutionary as pattern.
Yeah.
But perhaps in my looking at her patterns, I haven't really like taken the time to appreciate that perhaps inside of her pattern she's done like specific sort of shaping things
To make it work.
to make it work in
Yeah.
the way that I think Tori has done that with her patterns, and like
Yeah.
you said, nice, just so nice.
So nice. So nice.
Yay.
Yay. All right, I have another, where's it me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically all you. I have one more accessory and one more project that y'all have seen already, but is finished.
I finished my Levitate wrap cardigan. What is it called? Levitate wrap.
I think it's wrap.
Ha!
Carmen!
Right? Honestly, I've been living
the
in this
Levitate
one.
wrap pattern.
I might have gone a little long on the arms, but I also like it this way, so I haven't completely decided if I leave it or make it a little bit. I think I kind of stretched it out. So I knit this in Wonderfluff, Knitpicks Wonderfluff. Took just under 7 balls to do size 3, I think. Oh my God, I'm just looking at this going, it's exactly what I wanted.
perfect.
Like how it's just a beautiful cardigan. Like, look at the, look at that. Oh my God. It's so pretty.
The fit is so good on you.
It is good, hey?
Like the sizing.
I love the drop. Like, look how far the drops. Shoulder goes down and,
So size 3 is a 50-inch circumference, which is quite large.
Yes.
For...
I'm probably like a 38,
39, yeah.
Something like that. So, and this is probably wider. Like, I really, because when I made it, when I blocked it, I was quite, not aggressive with it, but I also didn't try to keep it
small.
When I first knit it, it was a lot tighter. But now it feels all ballet-like.
So perfect. I feel like the ease and the cropped, somehow, the proportions of it just work so well.
So pretty. And like,
I wasn't sure about this one for me, but now I'm like, oh, I want it.
I put a little button.
Brilliant!
Yeah.
Is that in the pattern?
No.
You are so smart.
Well, and I don't know if that was, it made sense. I might have even heard, I think, who's the podcaster? She's out in Vancouver. She knits such lovely...
String Things by Mel.
Yes, String Things by Mel. I feel like I know she's knit a couple of these, and she might have done this, so it might have also like been in my head. But you also, I found it's a necessity because this falls.
It would fall, yeah.
It really does. But it's not, okay, so a normal wrap, I keep putting it in and out, but a normal wrap, you have this, I thought it was going to continue here, right? Because that would be wrapped around here.
Right.
And you would like pull it through. So it's this actually, it's kind of strange. You attach this.
It's kind of like it's like, it's what am I trying to say? It's like visually a wrap, but not actually a wrap.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I wonder, because basically you wear it closed all of the time.
All the time. You can't, I don't think you could wear this open.
Would you, if someone else wanted to knit this, aka me, would you do the button or would you just tack it down? Like sew it down?
That's another option. I never really thought of that. Why not? Because you're never going to leave it open.
Never. I guess that was the
you're right. And the thing is,
way of sort of saying it.
The button is a little, like, I mean, maybe that's a really good point.
I was more thinking about like how it feels. I was like, would I like a button there?
Yeah, you're going to see it in a second. I don't even notice.
No, you don't see it. It's more like on the inside you feel the button.
I also have to say, I think I just love it in this color too. Like there's something
the color is... because I do think, I don't know, I mean, in my mind, of course, I am obsessed with gray, but in my mind, these like cozy, like big, like loungewear, Olivia Pope things tend to be either in like the most deep, darkest saturated color, or you're like in the like Greige family.
Yes.
And I do love this. It's like a white, like a bright white with a little bit of blue, heathered gray.
That's
which I was just like,
cool. It's
cool
all
toned,
cool toned. Yeah, with the blue.
Which we love.
Kind of. It's really, okay. Yeah, I'm in love with this. So I think it's called Finnley Heather is this colorway from Knitpicks. And people, somebody I think had a comment about like working with Knitpicks, like, cause we also are we love our farm yarns. We love, and like making sure that
the yarn is arriving from a certain place,
certain things, and that they're treating sheep in the right, and like, so I really do appreciate that. And somebody brought that to my attention, and I was like, it's absolutely true. Like, it's not I don't even know what I'm saying here. I'm literally just like talking right now, but I don't know how I can reconcile that fully. And in some ways I maybe should think about it more, but yeah, I don't know.
Because of the price.
So basically it's a very inexpensive wool because, and I'm sure in order to get there, it has to be not done in a way that I would probably want to.
Not the most ideal way.
Now I don't know. So it's one thing, like, I don't know for a fact. If I knew for a fact, then I guess maybe that would be even harder. But anyway, I don't know. I'm bringing that up. It's a bit of a thing. But I did want to say to the person, because I don't think I had a chance to respond. So yes, it's not exactly what we do normally. And at the same time, I am a very, I'm definitely not a person that likes like extremes of anything or even like full out rules. So I live in a certain way, but then exceptions exist in my world all the time. And I think that sometimes it's okay to do this. And I also like that it's more accessible. So like you have the flip side of it, right? That others can knit something and have this kind of joy on their bodies. I don't know.
At a lower access point.
Exactly.
I think, you know, from my, because, you know, we love you in the community, and your comments are often the things that, you know, we, that give us knitting mojo, and also allow us to explore sort of, I don't want to say deeper aspects of the craft, but maybe deeper aspects of the craft. And I think what was so well said in the comment was the recognition that, you know, the comment was about, you know, Knitpicks maybe being an unusual choice for us because we love farm yarn so much. Yeah. And the conversation or the comment was about, you know, how sheep farmers are compensated for their wool. And I think,
and I do,
you know, I think that gave me a different, that made me pause and think about the industry in sort of a different way than the way that, you know, like, I don't know, who was it? AKA Nora Knits was like, why does acrylic get so much shade? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that there's ways that we can think about the choices that we make in our craft that are about dollars and cents.
Yes.
There are ways that we can think about our craft that are about like, where is the yarn coming from? But until that comment, so thank you, I hadn't thought about, you know, how the choices that we make impact the value of fiber and wool.
Yes, right. Which I wouldn't,
which was not something that I had really thought about. I thought about, I think for us, traceability is a bonus, not a bonus, but it's something that we feel excited about when we like get to know the shepherds and get to know the sheep. That's something that we have the privilege of being able to participate in because of you, because of this community, because of the opportunity to go to yarn festivals and sort of meet people and have that experience. And I hate to, like you said, make rules around sort of saying like, this is the right way to knit and we should all knit this way. Yeah,
exactly. And I think I would, in some ways, there's like, how far would I have to take it? Like, I really, this is definitely a tangent. I did not mean to do this, but I really try to live my life in ways that are like, you know, good for the earth and try to help like in the ways I can, you know, but it would be really ridiculous for me to act like I never do anything that isn't in always the best interest, you know, like it's like, I do my best. And so sometimes I will knit in this kind of wool because it brings me a lot of joy. And if I find out, and if you have a link and tell me that people are being hurt by this and sheep are being hurt and all this, then I will definitely I won't support it. But yeah, I don't know why. I just wanted to bring that. I wasn't even thinking I was going to talk about that.
I also think, you know, and this is like, I guess, a call for resources is it's easy for us to feel good about the fiber that we're knitting with when we have those like real personal connections of meeting the shepherd, knowing where it comes from, you know, getting to be a part of that, like literally from sheep to fiber. But in the absence of that, you know, when we're looking at more commercially produced wool, I do think in my mind, as we've been talking about this, I'm like, oh, I feel like there's an assumption here, or an assumption that I have that I would love to get better educated around, that sort of says price point reflects standards of production. Does that make sense? And I don't know that that's the most sound assessment.
Yes.
You know how people
and
are like,
it's actually the case.
Yeah, whether that's the case. Like, it's like in, I don't know, my like, you know, first year marketing class in college, they were like, you know, there's this fallacy in which people think that if it's like expensive, then it's like
better.
Good quality and like made better. And if it's inexpensive, then it's like bad quality and like made terribly. And whilst there are certainly some trends, right?
Yes.
I don't necessarily know if that's true. And so I'm curious about like, how does one get educated about commercial brands that are like accessible from a price point point of view, but also accessible in the sense that like, you know, one of the things that we've talked about that I like one of the things that I love about expanding my knit palette to Sonder is like, you too can knit with a thing, you know, whereas sometimes when we're working with like specialty farm yarn and Newton, it's like, I'm so excited about this wool and it's so nice, and like, you can't knit with it, right? Or like, I'm so
never
sorry.
available again. Yeah.
Right, so in terms of accessibility, like, are there resources out there? How do you all make decisions and educate yourself around different commercial, like widely commercially available yarns in terms of their like practices? Because I do think that there are, you know, certain companies, I won't name anyone in particular, but certain widely available commercial yarns where their practices, their production practices are like part of their brand and part of their marketing, and it's really like easily available. And then I feel like there's this like big black box.
And it's only if we ask, right? Like, so it might not be even that Knitpicks is doing anything that's not like totally above board, right? But they haven't had any reason to have to talk about their practices because maybe people just have been buying. And so these kinds of comments make you think, and then, I mean, honestly, you know what? I'll contact Knitpicks and just ask them, right? Like, because it would be difficult for me to knit with, I think, a company that I knew was
doing
unfair things to people, to animals, to the environment, like that, obviously, would me.
Yeah, and then there's like scale, right? There's economies of scale that I think are also a part of it, which is where my mind is going in terms of like, you know, is low pricing meaning that they're not doing things appropriately versus high pricing, or is it about production? Is it about so on and so forth?
Yes, have they figured out a way to
have they figured out a way? Has it been established? Like, so on and so forth. I'd really love to know. I think it would, it's kind of funny because it's like, I think if that were very transparent, it would lead me to work with commercial yarn more often if I knew where it was coming from and like what was happening around it.
Absolutely.
Right? I remember when I went to Iceland and like Plotulopi has a particular price, and when I found out, you know, how they're able to price Plotulopi at the price that they're able to price it, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, right? The pricing makes sense, and nobody is being ripped off as a result of it. I mean, could those sheep farmers be receiving more per pound of their wool? Absolutely, always. And the low price of Plotulopi does not make me, in knowing how they get that pricing, I'm like, okay, well, there isn't harm being done. There is the need everywhere in the world, I think, for fiber farmers or sheep farmers to be compensated more, of course, appropriately, and I don't have any answers for that.
And it's just very complicated because if you also think about it, like, if you didn't have big companies doing this and allowing people to do this knitting, a lot of people being able to knit, then there wouldn't be the market for those sheep farmers anyway. So it's like, that's not okay to pay them less than they should, but at the same time, they also need large companies. If everything was small scale, I don't know that would also be very sustainable.
No.
Plus there's huge amounts of people that work in these companies, so I care about them too. Like, I don't want, anyway.
Resources.
In
other
resources
words,
would be great. We do
resources.
care.
Yes,
Yes,
I think this is an area of like fiber education that, I've done a little bit of stuff with like Anna of Long Way Homestead, who talks a lot about like the Canadian fiber market, which in the learnings that I've done through her made me recognize like how many factors go into the production of fiber. It's just like, it's incredible and mind-blowing and amazing. So, if you have resources, folks, websites, books, like, I would love to explore further.
Me too.
Okay.
Let me just finish because I went off on a tangent and never talked about. Okay, so mostly I talked about how the construction. Back to the knitting, yes. But we were talking about double knitting. Like this, just get ready, folks. Like
forever.
It's very, very fast. You make this so quickly and you're like, I'm gonna be done. This is so easy. And then if you're like me and you didn't read the pattern beforehand, you're like, oh wait, I have to double knit the entire
length of it's like a double hem plus a button band.
Let's look. Yeah.
Plus
you do your button band all the way up, all the way down to here. Then you do your bottom all the way around, but no, do you stop? No, you do not stop. You need this. I did this longer because I wanted a longer thing, but you just keep double knitting all that way, and then nope, not done. Gotta do a double knit band on this side and then attach it. So it is, it's not nothing. It's not nothing.
It's not nothing.
But it's pretty great.
I also want to call attention to the cuff.
Oh, yes.
And how beautiful it looks.
It is, yes, hold on a second.
And as again about those finishing details.
Yeah, like folded.
Folded over? Is that a folded over?
It's folded, yeah, folded in.
Is it ribbon
But
or
it's not, it's stockinette.
Oh, clever.
I know.
Clever.
Right? Woo! I'm okay. Yeah. This is a, like,
This is a Carmen classic.
yeah, a dream outfit for me. Like, this is what I love.
I also really appreciate how part of how gorgeous it is the like chunky knit, the chunkiness of it.
Yes.
I think I looked at the gauge.
Yeah.
The pattern gauge is 15 by 22.
Oh, perfect. I did 14 and a half by 19.
And I think that chunky gauge and like the blown yarn makes a huge difference. Like I couldn't see this being in something that was like worsted spun, like 5-ply. I mean, I'm sure, but I think part of the breeziness is that.
Yeah.
I was already like crunching numbers. I was like, could I do 2 strands of mohair and a fingering? However, I think the 2 strands of mohair and the fingering would be too drapey. Like I think there's something about this that there's like it's chunky and light that really makes it work.
Yeah, because you could see, like, this is a lace and one mohair, right?
Yeah.
So it would be a little bit more than this, but it would be a much thinner.
Yeah, like
That's
I'm
the
thinking
thing with
about
the blown
the turtle
yarns,
dove,
right?
The turtle dove cardigan, which we both knit, was 2 mohair and a fingering, and the weight is about 15. But I do think that having a little bit of that body is part of what makes that so gorgeous.
I adore it. I adore it. Yes, you're gonna try it on. Here, I'm just gonna take it off like this so that you can just put it on. Oh, it's so comfortable. Oh, we will see. I'm gonna talk. I did another test knit after, which involves slip stitches, and I'm gonna show you that I did the pattern wrong because I held the yarn in front instead of behind, like when I was slipping. Because of all the double knitting I was doing. It was just, I didn't even think about it. Like I just made the assumption that I was holding it in front. Oh my God, this is gonna be enormous on you, Jackie.
The arms could go down to my knees.
Oh, it looks, okay, that's a beautiful yoga sweater. Come on, you gotta make this.
What?
You have to make this.
This is actually, in fact, perfect.
Yeah, beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Oh my God.
It is so pretty. It's so
I
pretty.
always think, Carmen knit it, it's beautiful, I can skip it. I don't also need one, but oh.
I know, and there's no way I'm gonna give it up, I'm sorry. Even though you just gave me a gorgeous sweater last time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Oh, it's, honestly,
hang on, I'm just gonna take a moment to like, I'm already trying to skip steps and be like, if I don't have the
I think the problem is you'd have to, it's not hard, but you'd have to make a, you'd probably want to make a little hole. Because usually when you have a wrap, you thread it through.
Yeah.
But maybe you wouldn't have to. Maybe it just has to sit.
It's the only thing that I would change. And maybe I wouldn't. Maybe the
Why would you change? You don't like the bow. Is that why? Because I like the bow.
Maybe I do like the bow, I'm not sure.
And you could make it also shorter. So I wanted a nice long one that I could, you know, you could also do it where you just have a knot.
How much shorter did you make it?
Oh,
you did a bow, because in hers, she
knots
it.
Yeah.
I think the knot might be the way that I go.
Yeah. That's also nice.
Oh. Bye.
Oh no, no one's there. Honey, it's okay. This. Yeah. It's really, really.
And I think what's cute is that you can decide like how open you want it.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Well, Knitting Bojo re-engaged.
Thank you, my favorite things knitwear.
Sit here for a while.
Oh my god, I know. It's just classic. Like you just feel, you know, it's almost like an elevated house coat. You know, like
yeah. This is housecoat vibes.
Yes, you're cozy.
Housecoat vibes, but like
classy.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
I mean, not that housecoats are like, it's like, this could go into my work wardrobe immediately.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, on both sides, right? Like, I mean, because there's the yoga, like this would be lovely. Are you going outside? Go. That side, but it also can be done as just like a really nice workwear.
Really nice workwear.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Also, I was like, airplane.
Oh yeah.
Airplane.
What is it about a travel like wardrobe that feels so good? You know, there's something about being on a plane where everything feels special. Like I want my special clothes for my special trip, and I want to like be in there, and it's like all this time, which without knitting, like that would be a nightmare. But like I'm like I get to just knit for all these hours and be all cozy and yay. So yeah, that would be added. Maybe that's a new make 9.
The other thing that I want to say is, about this yarn is that sometimes blown yarns, like when I've knit with drops air, and again, I think it's likely because of my, like how my hands and the yarn, like the needle size and all that kind of stuff. I found that with some blown yarns, it really shows every single, it's like the opposite of mohair. Like it really shows the mistake, and sometimes some of my sweaters have had moments of like gappiness. Like,
oh yeah.
No gappiness.
This one's pretty good.
Really good. Even the pickup is really nice. Like,
yeah. I really like it. I want the resources, and I don't want the resources. I like don't want to hear that I can't use Knitpicks. Because I really love the Wonderfluff. But yeah, I do want to know if it's bad. I do.
And there are other blown yarn options, right?
There are. Yeah. Totally.
Hey, Melissa from Sonder
I was just gonna say, because I'm pretty sure, and once that happens, then it'll be no brainer. There will be nothing else. Yeah,
Beautiful.
All right, give another.
I have one little item, one item that has been seen before.
Okay.
I feel like there's some good.
Yes. Okay. There's another.
Is that done or is that
no?
in
It's
process?
not done yet. That's a. I mean, it doesn't matter. You want me to do this one next?
I do. Okay. I do, because I'm sitting here being like, where are you?
I would thought you were like,
oh, sometimes the stitch marker just makes the knit.
It's
so cute.
I wish I knew. I'm pretty sure I know that this came. I think this came from. Okay, I'd have to look it up.
If we find the purveyor, we'll put it in the description.
I think it was in. Yeah. Anyway, like winter box that had like witchiness. It was just really. Anyway. Okay. I'm on a kick, and my favorite knitwear kick. My favorite things knitwear story. Okay. This cardigan, this is cardigan number 9, I think. Yep, cardigan number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear.
Ooh.
Not finished, obviously. I am playing Yarn Chicken, and I'm a little bit scared. Yeah. I'm hoping, I don't think I'm gonna, maybe I'll put out there, if anybody happens to have one more skein of Woolia in blood orange 330, and then the something 2110, I think, or 2100. I'll look it up. And you would sell it to me, I'd be very
Did they
grateful.
discontinue the color?
No, it's just at the lot. That's the lot.
Oh, the lot.
So I can get more, but I'm gonna try, but I don't think I'm getting very low. So this, if you actually look up, no, you don't have to, because this is what it looks like. My favorite in like cardigan number 9. This is it in this color, in this wool. And every time I'd see it, I was blown away. It's just like such a beautiful cardigan. And I couldn't imagine knitting it in anything but.
I was gonna say, this is the most, okay, I know that you have that signature sort of like burgundy,
yes,
purpley gorgeousness. But this might be the most Carmony color I've ever seen. It's like it's the perfect orangey red.
It is.
Like what?
It's perfect. And sometimes there's, Sandnes Garn has, poppy. There's a poppy color apparently that I think looks similar. But when people knit with it, they go, I've heard a number of podcasters say, in person, it's kind of flat. Like it doesn't look as vibrant. This is literally as vibrant in person. Like this is...
Even as I'm looking at the screen, it's more vibrant in person than it is on the screen.
It is.
In
a good way.
In a good way.
Oh my god. So this is Woolia.
By Gepard.
Gepard Garn, Woolia, which is a non-superwash, also very like bouncy yarn. It's really nice to work with, I gotta say. Really, really like, I hope it's not bad. Hope that they have good practices. And then combined with knitting for Olive Merino, which is good. That one I know, because most companies do not
Merino or Mohair?
Mohair, sorry.
Okay, I was like, what?
Mohair. They use like the silk. They make sure that the worms aren't killed, which I don't know very many. I don't know if there's anyone else that I know mainstream that does that. Anyway, also in the color blood orange. So this mixture, which is really cool because they're
two different yarn
brands, but they've become this. This is actually maybe a little more accurate, the color. Oh no, it's still even more.
Like here
yeah.
is accurate.
But then I look and then I'm like, nope, that's way nicer when I look at it than on here, but whatever. I also wanted to knit it. I knit it in the size recommended. And I was
ease.
There's so much ease. And I worried about that, and people had been like other podcasters that said it's a really like, she's not kidding when she's saying it's going to be a lot of ease. Like look at these things.
The arms are massive.
Massive. Some people have made them smaller and everything, which would be totally doable because you're just picking it up. I just kept saying to myself, Carmen, you love it.
Yeah,
though.
you love
like
exactly
you love it. Do it exactly how she did it, and I'm so glad I did.
And body type wise, I think your body type and her body type are similar.
Similar, yeah.
So
yeah,
that matters as well in terms of ease.
Yes, and she did a size 3. So I was like, if she's doing a size 3, then I would at least do a size 3, if not.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it went that and not obviously one more up, but.
Oh my god.
So
it's so delicious. I want to eat it.
I know.
I want to eat you.
I am also delicious.
Scrumptious. It's so delicious.
Like this construction is beautiful. Like you have another one, the saddle shoulder, which makes it's such a statement, right? But yeah, but you then, sorry, you were gonna say.
No, go ahead.
It's a rib. It's a ribbed. So I haven't done a ribbed button band in a while because everything's been double knitting. But I really do like it for this.
It works.
And then there's a double knit. Like it's double knit and then a ribbing up here. You see?
Oh, clever.
And you only go up to here and then you do the top. So it's this, unlike some other, I usually don't like a round neck cardigan because I don't feel like it stays, like I can't just wear it like this.
It's like you get the floppy.
Yeah, it goes like this,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, yeah.
But this doesn't do that.
It doesn't do that. It reminds me of a jacket. It's like a bomber jacket vibe.
It does. And I think it's interesting, like once I get the sleeves knit all the way, because it's funny, I don't want to stop here, but it's not bad.
It looks actually kind of chic like that.
Right? I know. Like it's funny enough, got a kimono kind of feel to me. Maybe because of the wide sleeves that ending here.
I think it reminds me of jacket.
Yeah.
Like Chanel jacket.
Oh yeah. That's
jackets.
True. That's true. It's so pretty. Now, because I was worried about the yarn chicken pretty early on, I ended up knitting the body. And then because I was worried about that, I was like, well, I started with the sleeves so I can get this feel. How does that feel? And how long will this is like one ball got me this far. So I had another ball, I did this, and then I went back because I said, if I do have a lot color change, I don't want it to be here or here, right? Like, or here. It would be better if it was just in the arms.
In the arms.
So I'm doing now the arms. Also, I'm going to do them simultaneously to try to like get everything to be. I only have, I would guess 2/3 maybe of a 50-gram ball.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? I don't think I'm going to make it, so I'm just going to have to hope that the lot works.
So good. I never thought
This
that
is
I would
another
be
lipstick
attracted
color,
to this
right?
color. Like, it's like but I walked in and was like,
I know. It is, there's just something about this color that is so attractive. Like I couldn't, every time I would see it for
I literally
years.
cannot imagine this cardigan in another color. And like, it's like, left to my own devices, I would be going in the Greige family, but like.
Yeah. But funny enough, every podcaster I've seen that has knit this sweater has not done it in this color. They've done it in like beiges and neutrals, and it's gorgeous. It would be absolutely beautiful in a neutral as well. And I'm like, would it be more wearable? I don't know. Like this is a color that maybe because it feels kind of like a spirit color for me.
Yeah, I was also
like,
gonna say I feel like
feels
it's
right.
like it feels right on you. It reminds me of what's that you knit not tiny bubbles. You got in Amsterdam.
Yeah, tiny pebbles.
Tiny pebbles. Thank you. It's not tiny pebbles.
Oh, I love that.
Tiny pebbles. There you had knit it, and it has this like really beautiful orange pop on it that I was like, again, I left to my own devices would never use orange, but it looks so good. This is like that, but like better.
Yeah, times like 1,000.
Times 1,000.
It is all
So
over.
good. It oddly is like so bright. It's a neutral. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's funny because I was gonna say the same thing, and I stopped because I was like, can I really call this, like, how could I call this a neutral? But it feels like what a neutral, maybe that's what it is. It feels like what a neutral does, which is to like kind of, well, no, because this does make an outfit, but like a neutral to me makes the outfit, because it doesn't necessarily stand out, but the whole thing is like put together and just feels like the right energy that's all over.
I have Woolia in, I don't think I have a sweater's quantity, but they have this really beautiful emerald green. And I was like, I could do it in emerald green. And I was like, no, it's perfect in that color.
It is, but it would be perfect in emerald green too. It reminds me of that Sandness yarn, the pattern, you know, like one of the Gensers is done in a green like that. Anyway.
Yeah. This is one of those moments in which I'm like super grateful for things like Instagram and Ravelry, which will allow me to go through and look at the different versions of it. But oh my god, that's so perfect.
I love it. And I'm going with toggle buttons.
Oh, toggle buttons.
And I have them. I thought I had the right ones, but they're the ones I have are a light wood. And yeah, I'm honestly just copying her. Like I'm just gonna I held them up. I'm like, oh, it just changes the look slightly because hers is a dark chocolate wood toggle. So I just bought.
Yeah.
I bought those.
Wow.
It's on their way from
This
Etsy.
must have, it's not in my queue. This must have like existed, but like my anti-red sentiment, I must have just like swiped past it.
Blech.
But now I'm like,
once you try it on too, it's a very unique.
It's a very unique red.
Unique red, unique fabric. It feels different. It's soft, not prickly.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it and trying to figure out how I can convey the color. And I'm like, just to be clear, this is not tomato red. It really is orangey.
It
like
has
it's like a
fluorescent.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. I had when I had my daughter, so that was like, let's say she's 10 now. So when she was a baby, I was very, very, very big time into baby wearing with wrapping. And at that point, we like all collected wraps, and there were like, you know, there's this company called Artie Pop that we all, anyway, there was a color a wrap that I got that was in this color. And I remember going, I love that color. And I haven't really seen it since, but now when I put this on, I kind of feel like it's,
I don't know
bringing me
that,
back
yeah,
there.
it's so beautiful. I would never have bought this color on my own, but now I would like to try it. It's like, do I take this off though?
I know you have to take that one off. I know. I am in a cardigan zone right now, I think. I love a cardigan. I feel like this is gonna look amazing. Oh gosh, it already looks good. Oh, Jackie.
Oh, it's so red on me.
I think you look amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my god, it's so red. You're like, yeah, I liked it on you, but that's just very red. It is very red. Oh, I love it though. And it's not been blocked yet. I steam blocked it to make it just a little like.
You're right. There's something about the wide sleeve that actually works.
It does.
because as a petite this way person, sometimes the wide sleeves really like take over, but somehow this one would be okay.
Oh yeah. Plus yours is almost done.
You could just give it to me and we could buy a whole other sweaters quantity with the right amount.
We totally you're right. I mean, honestly, that does make the most sense, doesn't it?
It does. It does. I would knit it for you.
Yeah. It is
I really like the length actually, which is like on me.
Yes.
This is not a length I would left to my own devices like knit.
No.
That's really
I
nice.
kept thinking it too, and I was like, should I cut it back? Because I know I'm playing yarn chicken, and I'm like, no. I did actually make it 1 inch.
The toggles would be so good.
1 inch shorter.
It's
so
so
it would be
jackety. Why is it so jackety?
It isn't jackety though.
Like
because
when I look at it, I don't think about it as a cardigan. You know what I'm saying?
It is a jacket.
It's
cardigan.
a jacket.
Like it really is
so good for this season. And the weight would be so good for like spring, autumn.
Oh god, yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Is red my color? I don't know. I think so. I want this red to be my color.
I think it is.
Oh!
It's gorgeous on you. I think your red is not about your body not looking good in red.
It's my brain.
Yeah. It's the
brain is
association.
like, ah!
Yeah. Like, don't tell me to wear that. Thank you. You're putting it back on. I love it. Do I have anything else to say about this? No, I didn't even put my gauge. I think pretty much my gauge is on. I think everything is pretty much the same.
Yeah, it really does. I didn't do the button because I like forgot about
That's
it.
what happened. Yeah,
And
you
really
need the button, or that's
does
really
need a
smart. I don't know
secure.
why I never thought of just tacking it down. That makes much more sense actually than putting a button.
Ooh.
It's so pretty.
I like wearing it. I don't know when you wear it, like I sort of just like put it on like a cardigan, but there's something about like it sitting
Okay,
back.
a little back.
Yeah, which I think is super gorgeous. Maybe it just gets to the right length on me.
I think it's probably because like you're getting it to the right.
I think the best thing about this is that left to my own devices, I would not have knit this size, but now I will knit the size.
That happens often with you too, but in the opposite direction. Like I'll knit a smaller size because I try yours on and I'm like, oh, I like it in that size, right? But yeah, I think that just right now, like a larger, lots of positive ease.
It's the feeling of having, like being able to move in your knit. I really like the long sleeves.
Me too.
I mean, not this long,
Those
I
are a
fold it
little
up, but like, I don't know where it lays on. I can't remember where it lays on you. I do think that it's meant
about
to
there.
be long.
Yeah.
Like,
and I find that it's like, I'd rather have longer sleeves because when I'm like, if I'm doing dishes or whatever, I just cuff it and it's cute. Like,
and you can
because I
get
can
it
do a
up
couple cuffs.
like this.
Yeah.
But I think there's something, I really like to like pull my sleeves long.
Aww.
So it works. Okay, so we'll stop.
No.
So I'm admiring myself in your sweater.
No.
Any longer.
It's only if you like run out the door. Then
yeah.
Apart from that.
Well, I'd like for us to keep podcasting together, so you're safe.
You know I would anyway. Even if you stole my sweater. This is so cute. This is so cute.
How many more do you have?
Oh, I have other stuff. I have 2,
Okay.
3, possibly. Depending.
Why don't you do that one?
Why? Why don't you do your
I don't know, because I'm running out of things to show. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
So this is, I'm just gonna show it this way first.
Oh.
This is a test that I did for my favorite cable queen, Meghan Babin.
Oh my god.
And this is her Brigid hat. I mean, Meghan is the queen of cables. She
Look at these.
every cable that like we love cables around here. And not that you always need to knit complicated cables, but sometimes you have designers that create these amazing cables. They're Celtic cables. Like, oh my gosh, this was so fun to knit. I keep petitioning Meghan. I'm like, will you make a sweater, please? Like, 'cause it's a hat. They look complex, but they are actually really easy to knit.
Yeah.
You just kind of follow it. You're following the chart, kind of. Like, you have to pay attention around this.
Would you feel?
I couldn't do it without looking.
Okay.
But all of the cable crosses, it's not like a large number, which to me, like when you're crossing, it's like 2s and 3s, which is a very satisfying amount of cables to cross.
Absolutely.
I cable without a cable needle. And like the the cables themselves you're doing this essentially the same kind of cable crosses, but sort of in different orders. So to me, I'm like, this is the pattern that I should have brought on the airplane instead of the stockinette, because then
I also probably wouldn't have, well, actually no, because they took it away anyway. Was that okay?
Yeah, anyway. But like, to me, this is the perfect travel project because you have like this like folded over ribbing. And then as you're doing the cables, you're kind of just like following the chart as you go. And so it's really engaging, but it's not, it's also easy to read in the sense that like you would know if you went awry.
Okay.
Like as you're doing it, it's like, you're like,
Right.
look, it's like coming together.
I like
Just super, super lovely. The other thing that I want to talk about is the yarn choice. So this,
what is this?
pattern was, so the test was supported by like New to Me Yarn Shop, which is Canadian. So I love this. It was like a Canadian US like sort of thing, and the yarn shop is
this time.
I know.
Especially.
Well, that was part of the intent when the test came out. So the yarn shop is Needles. Oh no, Needles in the Hay. Yeah, Needles in the Hay.
I love them. The owners are so
Deanna
lovely.
is the most lovely human being.
She's so lovely.
She also tested. She did like 3 different versions and 3 different yarns, and she provided a discount code for this, which is Como Cashmere, which is a merino cashmere blend out of Italy. And it's called like, they have like some sort of like super light technology, so that it's something crazy like the yardage that you get per weight, like the grist is super low, high, whatever it is, like it's really, really light. So I used, I did need the second ball, about a ball and a half of this Como Cashmere in the color Pigeon Blue, which might be in my mind some of the most perfect, like the perfect blue.
It's gorgeous. I'm assuming it's 50-gram ball?
Yeah. No, 25-gram ball.
Oh, 25.
Wait, I don't know. It'll be in the notes. I think
it's not 100, obviously.
Yeah. So it makes like the lightest, here, I'm just gonna.
Did you say cashmere?
Yeah, it's 70% superfine, 17.5 micron merino wool, and 30% cashmere. It's 131 yards per 25-gram balls. So this is, like less than 50 grams.
Yeah.
I actually have a project page for this one, so let me just quickly pull it up.
Oh, cutie, look at your cute little picture.
This was 40 grams.
40 grams.
40 grams. And the stitch definition on like a merino cashmere, I don't know, this yarn is just so stunning. Yeah. If you look at the Ravelry page, you'll see that Meghan knit hers in like this beautiful pine green, and there were a lot of testers who did it in like, you know, like a cozy, like saturated color, but there was something about this that I was just like, oh my god, I love.
It's again so spring, like you're feeling spring.
Yes, I'm feeling the blues. I was like in a blue kind of mood. So, look how cute it is!
Duck billing perfectly.
Yeah, perfect duck bill.
It is adorable.
It's super, super light. It's really, you know, I've talked a million times about like cables and armory, and this is like the exact opposite of it. What I will say is that like if I come really close, you'll see that like my purl stitches, you can kind of see through to my hair. I think if I didn't have black hair, it would be a non-issue, and it's still a non-issue, but it is something that I was thinking about as I've been trying to petition Meghan to like make a sweater with this cable pattern. It's a really nice yarn to work with, but I do think the thinness of the yarn like does make a difference. I love the weight of it. I love how it feels, but this is definitely like a spring hat.
That's what I love is that it looks like a spring hat. There's no confusing that. You know, the fact that it's actually quite open is what I like about that.
Yeah, I've used it a ton. It's like the perfect hiking hat because there's like some airflow, but there's like the double knit around the ears. If you look at the pattern, there are 2 versions of the pattern. One is in this Como Cashmere, and then the other version is in, oh my God, Brooklyn Tweed Loft.
Oh, that's a different.
Yeah, really different, really different. So check out the like testers page.
Yeah.
But I love this hat pattern. I will be knitting it again. I have had the thought, I have 2 other balls of the Como, and I was like, with a strand of Mohair for the like winter version, but maybe in Loft as well. I can't say enough about how gorgeous these cables are.
I just like
think they're so beautiful.
You want to look at them, like, because it's like your eye has to figure them all out. They're not just your basic braid. They are.
I
love that feeling, that sigh, right? Like when you know you made something really that you love, and like. Oh, I remember way back, like before knitting, buying a hat from Roots, is a Canadian, like
classic
Canadian brand. And it was a spring hat, and it wasn't cabled, but I don't know, but it was light like this. It's reminding me of this, and how like I just remember being so excited to buy that hat because it also represented like spring being here, and we're not in like the heavy toques anymore, but you still kind of like sometimes want to wear a hat.
Yeah. I also like have days where I just, people who wear baseball caps all of the time.
Exactly.
Like I will occasionally wear a baseball cap, but like since I became a knitter and started knitting hats out of like yarn that I love, sometimes I just like want my head to be hugged.
Me too.
And I'll put this on, just like walk around inside because it's like a little hug for your head. It's the perfect temperature. And you can make it sort of like winter, like heavier if you would like to. Like I suspect that the Brooklyn Tweed Loft version is probably a little bit more.
It would definitely, because it's woolen spun, right? And so it's just going to be...
Yeah, and the stitch definition on some of the... I was like, because we got yarn support, we got like a discount code from Deanna. She was like, it was really to be used. She was so generous. She was like, use it on anything that you want. And I was like, Loft, Como Cashmere, Loft, Como Cashmere, Loft, Como Cashmere. I like could not decide, but then when I saw this blue, I was like, I would like a blue hat.
Yes.
And I thought that that like it's not heathered, and so I thought that the cables would come out clearer, but
they came out clear, all right.
Thank you.
They are clearly clear.
Okay, I am in maximum cozy with this on and the hat on. I have no reason to move except to get knitting. I could just stay here. You give me some needles, I would just not move. This would be it.
You're like, pass you a whip. This is that stockinette. You can just... Oh, that is so cool. I love it. Beautiful. Well, okay, so another test.
Accessories.
Yeah, more accessories and another test. So I, one designer it's funny I was talking about baby wearing because, so way back then, it was all through kind of Facebook stuff and people would buy and trade wraps. It was a thing, like a subculture, kind of like this whole knitting thing where people like get each other and all of this. Anyway.
Find yourself a niche hobby, friends. It's great.
There was this beautiful woman who was part of this community, and she was so stylish, and like I never like talked to her in person or like communicated directly with her, but I was always like, she's so amazing. Anyway, then years go by, and then I get back into knitting, and then into the knitting Instagram, and she pops up again. But now she was into knitting at the time. I'm like waiting so long to say her name, right? But anyway, into knitting, then becomes a designer, has like a gorgeous like yarn shop out in Sweden. Also a metal worker, which I happen to have her. So her name is Lotta Lothgren.
I love Lotta.
She's like, so I feel like that story, it's just so, I was thinking
that backstory.
I had a backstory. Now she doesn't know our backstory because she was not
obsessed with
me.
Well,
I was not any kind of I was just more of the lurker that was like, just impressed with. Anyway, so when she arrived, and actually her first pattern, I ended up test knitting for her. That was her, like she had it was called Water something. It was a scarf, which I still wear. Love it. Anyway, so I'm obviously on her like mailing list. I love Lotta. She's
her color
sets, her metal work too.
Everything.
Silversmithing. She's incredible, and she just has like incredible style. And she owns, I think it's called Elk Market Yarn. This beautiful yarn store out in Sweden, but they ship all over the world. So anyway,
hand dyer also.
Hand dyer too, and like sustainable, and a really beautiful, intelligent woman who has her finger on the pulse, if that makes sense.
Look at this. Look at her color sense.
She's lovely. So I'm on her mailing list, and so she had these little mitts that she was like, she put out there. Anybody want to test knit these little mitts, and I'm like, fingerless mitts?
You love a finger. You love a mitt.
I love a mitt. I love a
Fingerless mitt.
I love these fingerless mitts. But disclaimer, these are not the correct pattern. It's almost, it looks similar, and I like it just as much. I also knit the original. You're gonna have to go to Ravelry for that one because I can't find them, even though I just knit them. So I can't show those today. But can we just like look at this perfect fit? These are actually, I guess, the same pattern. It's called the Ratatosk mittens, and she had a sock pattern that was in one of the Lina books with this pattern. So this is like gonna match. I feel like the proportion, you know, you have so many proportions, right? Like with a mitt that you don't really think about, but like how far up the fingers does it go? Like how long down the wrist? And I adore these. And look at this is a new shaping that I had not done before. And what's cool,
so stunning, it's
isn't
so
it?
Neat, and
Isn't
that's
it beautiful?
so satisfying.
Not hard to do also, and very intuitive. So I made 4 of these mittens. Each one took a day of knitting.
Made 4 of these mittens?
Well, yeah, because, 2 pairs.
Okay.
And the second one I did in size 2 just to see. So this is size 1 and fits perfectly, and it was exactly what she was suggesting. My gauge is a slightly bigger. I put it here, 20 stitch gauge. I think it's 22 stitches.
What weight yarn did you use?
Fingering.
That's fingering.
Yeah.
It looks so plump.
I know. So this, also a great stash busting project. This is actually from Origin Yarns. My Selly sweater, way back. I know in Origin, I'm so sorry. This is one of those times where it's like, darn it, I'm gonna talk about something that can't be, maybe hopefully she starts up again. She,
had a lot of life things.
Yeah, she's amazing. And this is a merino wool, I think it was called Eco Merino or something. And it feels like all the good qualities of superwash. Like it's super, super smooth and everything, but also still bouncy, and it doesn't stretch out and is not superwash. So anyway, I had these in stash.
And she's a natural dyer.
Yeah.
Was a natural dyer.
Yeah.
Was, yeah.
Right. So it's like a pumpkin color with a chocolate color. And, and the way it's done, they're interchangeable. You don't have to look. Wear them at whatever. They work. Because of this ingenious thumb. They're so cozy.
They're so cozy.
This is another, you were talking about wearing a hat. Like, I'll put these on, just to kind of wear them. Here, you can try both. Just to wear them around the house. And another thing to be said is that because of this, how far they go up, at least on my hands, I can knit with them, whereas I can't with all fingerless mitts.
The stitch pattern is so huggy.
It's so huggy.
It's like it's the slip stitch, and
slip stitch with
I tried to pull up.
ribbiness.
Yeah. Oh, I could see how this would make amazing socks.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a hug. I'm hugged.
I love them.
Now I'm not leaving.
Now you're not leaving. They're really great. And and I am a very selfish knitter in general. I call it, happy to say, I knit for myself.
Ourselves.
Yeah. But, which is ironic because I actually have another gift knit, which I'm going to show in a second. But I have to say, if I were to gift knit, this is the pattern, okay? It's fast. It's fun. You memorize it very, very easily. So you're not tied to the pattern. It fits perfectly. So well. And they're so convenient. I think that mitts, people don't realize, and I was one, didn't realize how convenient a pair of fingerless mitts are until you have them.
Or as a wearing.
A wearing. An actual project that somebody's going to use. There.
I'm running out.
You could run out because I can make another pair. That's pretty fast. That I can do.
Gosh, I want the mitts. I also now desperately want the socks.
Me too.
Because the squish.
Yeah.
The squish.
So there are 3 sizes. This one took 43 grams of the main color and 19 grams.
Oh my gosh, that's such a nice amount of stitches.
Oh yeah, and you have it in your
scrap. Yeah.
I just keep in drawers stash yarn, ones that I've already used. You have so much, so much. Yeah, size 3 needles. Ratatosk mitts.
Love.
Well done, Lotta. You did it again. Brilliant.
Isn't it so funny how how like, I'm just thinking about like your story with her and how we sort of like orbit people for a little while and then like.
Who knew, right?
Yeah, who knew?
Who knew? So funny. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have another thing, or I'll quickly show? Okay. We may not be forever on this. Like, it may not be a 3
hour episode. I mean, yeah.
All right. So this is, I am doing a gift knit right after saying that I'm a selfish knitter and really never make anybody anything. I was thinking about what to get my dad for his birthday, and I was talking with my mom, and my mom's a knitter too. She's who taught me how to knit, and she makes my dad, you know, sweaters and things. And I don't know, we were just like talking. She's like, maybe you should make him a sweater. And I think I was thinking about it, but then I was like, well, I don't want to like tread on your territory. And she loved it. She's like, he would really love a vest.
Nice.
So I immediately thought to myself,
oh, that's gorgeous.
I remembered the Lina, the what do they call it? It's probably not unisex anymore. What do we call it? Anyway, like
gender neutral.
Thank you. Gender neutral Lina that they did, number 13.
Winter 2022.
Thank you. So I remember that there was this really cool vest in here. Didn't remember who made it, but as soon as I did.
I love that you remembered that.
I remember weird things, Jackie. I can't remember.
I'm not saying you don't have a good memory. I'm just saying like that it made us. Ooh!
A cassis? You know who the designer is?
Midori Rose.
As soon as I knew that, and then I looked at the gauge, 14 stitches, I think. 15.
Amazing.
I was like, oh my God, I'm doing it. And the funny thing is, I don't know that I loved how it was styled. Like, when I look at this, I do like it, but I don't know if I love, well,
Are those shorts and wellies?
That's shorts and wellies. I mean,
it's a look.
It's a look. It
not
didn't
our
grab
look.
me, no. But I was like, oh, I like the stitch pattern. And she's just amazing. She just knits beautiful, beautiful stuff. So this is my dad's.
Oh my!
It's not quite
feel
done
like
yet.
the choice to do it in a marled yarn.
It's nice, hey?
It's really nice.
So this is in Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. I have had Shelter in my stash for so long, and I just never really figured out, I don't know, what to wear it with or what to use. And then when this came up, I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be my dad's a professor, just recently retired.
So cute. It's even cute on you,
right?
You could just mind that baby off. It would be
Gender neutral.
yours.
Yeah. And it has a very nice little.
The details are really delicious.
I love it. So he wants it. He's gonna want it like longer, and then I'll just put the ribbing, and that's it. Like that's the whole. I've finished it without like the weaving in the ends.
It's so nice.
It's really textured.
I really want one.
I know. It's fast. As I said, 14 stitch, 15 stitch, on a size 10 needle, I think. And I did the size 4 for him.
To your point in terms of the shoulder is really nice. Like the way it lays is super nice. To their point about the styling, I do look at it and think I should chop some wood in the fall.
Right?
Like I feel like either I'm a professor, or or I want to like go out in the fall.
Yeah. And Dad was over last night. We just had them over for dinner and watching golf and everything. And I was like, oh, I have this. I want to try it on to try to get the length for him. And he was literally wearing the perfect plaid shirt. Like it was this like navy color with these gold like stripe plaid stripes. Caraway.
This is a really it's a color story that I feel like I would never, and left to my own devices, put these colors together.
I know. Look at them.
Look at them.
There's so
close
many
up.
colors.
But then once it's knit up, it is such a delicious color.
I know.
I would not never, but if you brought me to a yarn shop and you were like, Jackie, go choose a color of Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, I would not choose this. But looking at it on, I'm like, I want that.
I know. I don't know that it likes me as much as I like it. Oh, I think I'm losing stitches again, but that's okay. But it's incredible, these Nutidins like this too, where you have all of these flecks of colors that you don't see unless you look. And then when you look, you're going, how is there like safety cone orange in here and like cobalt
Safety
blue.
cone orange.
You know, like how are these things in here?
Yeah, but it works.
It does work.
It works.
I just think it's a very...
To me, it's the perfect, like, it's like a scummy, it's like that scummy yellow green that I adore.
I know. And Dad put it on and he was like, this is so comfortable. Like, and actually, Jackie, you were asking me about knitting with it. It is a really nice knit, but it's also very dry and kind of rough on my hands when I'm knitting, but it's a rustic yarn. It's Cormo, I think, or Targi.
Columbia.
Targi Cormo. Yeah.
So the Columbia, but the Targi gives it the squash.
Yeah.
Squish.
And because it's woolen spun, it's super, super light, really, really warm. And there's the option of a crew neck or a turtleneck. Oh my God. Quite a big turtleneck. Mm-hmm. And because you start under and then you pick up later, you get to decide.
Can adjust.
Yeah. Which
I love that.
I was going to do anyway because I wasn't sure if my dad would feel like prickles, like who knows how the wool would feel. So I wanted to start with this, but I think I might just stay with it.
Is this blocked or unblocked? Did you steam block it? No,
not
actually, even. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And it's a really easy pattern.
Nice, you know what it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of Rebecca Clo's Stick Season sweater.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's true.
In the just in the like geometry of it, and
this section
like
being
the section, and then the plain stockinette, and how it works super well. I lovingly disagree with your assessment that color doesn't love you.
Really? I don't think it likes my skin tone. But thank you. We just both did the same thing at the same time. Do you want to try it out?
Yes, please.
Oh, I think I'm sitting on my yarn tail. There we go. And I will say, as somebody, that's the back facing me. So you've got the front there. Yeah, you can see the.
Oh yeah.
Part of the reason I don't gift knit is because cute. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of work to knit, right? And all of this. Oh. But when somebody tries it on, that looks really cute on you. I feel like you can do this color. Yes.
I love it.
It's so cute. Actually, that length, everything.
I want exactly this.
I wonder if we'll have enough skeins after. It's cute. Anyway, when the person puts it on, you're kind of like there is something so beautiful about that, you know? Like, and I knew maybe because I've often given knits away, which is lovely, but I wasn't knitting it with the intention of knitting for that person. And when you do, like, I'm literally knitting it for my dad. Like, I'm thinking about this as I'm thinking about him as I'm knitting, and then when you put it on and it just looks so good on him, like it fit him perfectly.
So satisfying.
She's just so good.
I also love that that like you knew immediately the pattern, that the yarn worked, that he showed up, and it like fits him perfectly, right? Like that. I feel like that's I don't do gift knits very often. I have a very like love-hate relationship with like gifting, but you know when you find something is just perfect for that person, then you give it to them. Like I feel like you hit it on the nail.
It really,
right?
Really is perfect. And I was worried about size because so I tried it on too, and look at it, it looks good on you. And I'm going, like, obviously you're smaller than my dad for sure. I'm smaller than my dad, and I wasn't sure like how it was, but it just expands.
This like ribby.
So nice.
Oh, it's so nice.
So nice. And a really nice knit. Really beautifully made, just like all of her patterns. Like, so I'm sure you know, but Midori Hirose, Knit Cafe Midori. She is the, ranunculus designer of the ranunculus, but so many others as well.
Did we say the pattern name and I missed it?
Cassis.
Thank you.
Yes. I only said that really quickly at the beginning, like when I was showing the thing. Just really, really highly recommend. I recommend it in this wool too, and I can't wait for it to be blocked because I know that will it'll bloom even more.
She knit it. The sample is in Durham, Natura, Gilead.
Yeah, which often can be kind of subbed out, I
interchangeable
find.
too.
But I will say, having knit in both, and actually my gold sweater that I was wearing that I put the mohair with, that was Gilead. I love that too, but there is something really, really fun about Shelter.
It's
Lots
lighter.
the same. It's lighter. It's interesting because of the colors.
Yeah.
It's just really, like, I get it.
I get it.
I get it.
I get it now.
Alright, so that should be done. I probably will just gift it to him. I probably won't show it on the podcast again, but I'll do a little Instagram, I'm sure.
I could see this. I really like the idea of the turtleneck. I mean, it's pretty perfect, but I do like the idea of the turtleneck. It's
Me
like
too.
Yeah. It's so
Me.
lovely.
Well, who knows? I think I'm going to leave it from that because he has his little, like, collared shirts. You know, he's very academic.
Happy retirement, Dad.
Happy retirement. Thank you. Okay. I think I'm pretty much, I have one more whip, but don't even need to talk about it because there's not much to say about it. So that will come for those of you who say, no, tell us about all of them. It's not really in a state that's going to be easy to show. And so I will definitely talk about it when it's time.
Do you want to do this or do you want to do dream knitting?
Which do you like to do, Jackie? You know better. But I'm going to shut this door. Even I'm cold. You're probably freezing.
Carmen, who's literally wearing a dress.
I'm wearing a
With the
dress.
door
Like,
open.
this is ridiculous.
Love it.
This is ridiculous. What do I want to wear? Oh, can I wear my, is it okay if I wear my levitate?
I suppose you
that
can
be all right?
wear your sweater. Okay, so there's one more finished object to show that comes with a larger story, so we'll leave that till the end. I am absolutely using this podcast right now to support me with some accountability.
Woohoo!
So at the beginning of the episode, I talked about how I feel like I'm in a little bit of like a knitting, like I don't know what to knit next. And part of that we've already talked about, but part of it is because I have a bunch of whips that I loved when I started knitting them. And then I've like taken too much time away from them. And in order to like finish the object that I think I do want, there's like a lot of big steps in order to do it.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna like run through, like whip down the multiple projects as a way of talking it out and maybe getting some feedback and maybe like reinvigorating some accountability and some momentum. Because I remember when you did the whip down,
That was so helpful.
like bam, 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 bam. And I'm like,
Sure.
I think I need to do that. Yeah. Whether I put these projects to bed, I don't know.
Which also, that was part of my whip down and was really enjoyable to like make that decision finally, right? Yes.
or whether I continue.
Okay. Have I even seen some of these? Like, are they going to be like totally new to me?
You've seen two of them.
Oh.
One of them
Is that
is
this
in a very, very
shawl that I loved?
yes.
But that
Okay.
one's done. Remember?
I don't know. Okay, so
Loved it as it was.
we'll do the ones that have been on the podcast before. I won't talk about them supremely extensively. So this one of them is the night shift shawl. Carmen's gonna lose it because she thinks this is her
my
scarf.
favorite.
Do you want to put it on?
Sure.
Want to model it?
Okay.
So this is the night shift shawl by Andrew Mowry that I knit in Surrey held double for the main color and then like a superwash linen yarn for the contrast colors for some of them. Most of these come from Antonella. My brain just like blipped.
Cozy Posy? Something Posy?
How do I not know this?
Cozy?
I think you're
Posy?
right. I think it is Cozy Posy yarn.
I think so.
I'm sorry, Antonella. Okay, and in Antonella's, mostly in her colorways, like plus 1 or 2 neutrals. I love the feeling of the shawl. I love the color of the shawl, but I have stalled out because if I'm keeping the shawl for myself, I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
Because I have 2 thoughts. I realized over the course of my travels that I either need a cowl or a baby shawl, or I need like a shawl that I'm drowning in. Like these are the 2 sizes that I like. And when I look at this, I have two options. So in the pattern, it's a triangular shawl with this like little, it's got this little tail, and then you just keep increasing, so it's like a giant triangle.
It's bigger.
It's bigger. And if I follow the pattern as written, there's about, I think I do like 3 more repeats, so it would be that much longer, this much longer, that way. But wider. And I don't know that
then it gets
to me, it's a weird, like I think it's not the right shape for me in the sense that if I think about the length of that, I could toss it over, but then I have this like weird little yarn tail, so I'm not convinced about the triangular shawl shape. Now, part of the challenge is that I love the colors that I've used, and I don't want to add another color. Right. But if I don't add another color or like extend it in terms of the repeats, I don't think it's going to be as large as I want it as a shawl. So the other thought that I had was, and this is where I've stalled, my thought was like I could make it a really long shawl by basically this would be the center, and then I would decrease it so that it has that like long wingspan. Let me, if you take that side, like that. This would be the middle, and then I would start to decrease it. So this is upside down.
Right, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I see what you're
saying.
Yes.
So if I do this.
Right, so then you're doing a triangular.
A triangular, but really like wide and long.
That will be really long though.
Which I was like, is that too long? So this is part of the reason why I've like stalled on it. I also haven't blocked this. And I was like, if I block it, is it even gonna get even longer?
Was it superwash anything in here?
The little blips.
Just the blips.
The blips are superwash, like but then the rest is Surrey alpaca held double, which is also
you don't stretchy alpaca. Yeah, maybe it is.
Oops, sorry.
No, that's okay.
So I don't know. I don't want to rip this out. I love it. I just don't know how to finish it. I don't know if I keep continuing and doing like a super long triangle. And you can't just keep it the way that we like when I was trying it on before. I swear there was one side I did. Like one of them fell. Like it just however I put it on, and it's in our like that you can. It looked so perfect. Like you wouldn't want to just looked perfect, but it doesn't feel perfect to me when I feel like for me it's like too small. Okay. And you know, and I think that there's this funny like if I were to end it because it does to me from the front it looks super cute like that, except you have this weird flap. So it needs to go longer, but I'm not sure. Like somehow to me, if you did, maybe it's because of the yarn choice that I used. It feels like not deep enough. To make a giant triangle. And I remember when I was looking at project pages and like other people who have knit this, people did talk about the shawl shape and it sort of being not a weird shawl shape, but like So I've been like, it's been I find any of those like asymmetrical triangles. I've liked them but never been able to wear them. So I have like I which is the one I have an asymmetrical triangular shawl that I really love. It was that shawl that we tested for Inez. Oh, God. My Pisces shawl that you lovingly gave to your sister. I can't remember the name right now. I'll link it below. Oh God, it's so beautiful. That's like really, it's a really like, it was knitted in, held single, and it's like a really long asymmetrical thing. It's incredibly drapey. Very drapey. Really easy to just kind of pull around. This has more heft. Yeah. And also the difference is the depth, like something about the yarn choice and the mosaic. It's like, it's not long enough. So I don't know what to do. Now that I'm like looking at it, I freaking love it. It's the way hard that it's gorgeous. I mean, the colors, there's no way, right? See, part of the reason I thought, should I just go back, like, should this be the middle, is because I feel like this looks really nice like this. Yep. And if I could even actually, I could rip back and start the middle here because it is very long. But ripping back. Okay, and what about, so keep it there and then how does that, oops, sorry guys. This comes over, like, is there any way to make this a cowl? Is there any way to like attach it so that you have some kind of a thing that's just doing this? See, I don't know. When I look at it like this, it's not as pretty as when you had it around like this. Yeah. which is why I was like, I think I need to make it bigger.
Yeah,
because if I keep it as a like,
I just worry that if once it's so big, you're gonna, like, can you wrap, like, where you're gonna wrap it? Do you remember, like, the oh my god, long, the short, like, close, the Britney's wool.
Fleur?
No,
low mileage.
Thank you.
Oh, Find Your Fade.
Find Your Fade. It was
Andrew
so
Mowry.
long on you. Like, that was still kept, like, as an asymmetrical triangle, but I remember it dragging on the floor. Like, I wouldn't want, like,
Find Your Fade is a kite shape, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But like,
but it's not an asymmetrical triangle, and it was dragging on you.
I guess I could just keep going like Andrew Mowry. Kind of like it like this.
I think you should.
You think I should just do the triangle?
I think you should do her as she
wrote it.
Yeah, I think so. Because you said 3 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's this 1, 2, 3. This
Yeah.
much? Oh, yeah. So between here and there.
You think?
I say do that.
Oh my god! Now that I'm wearing it,
It's so beautiful,
It's so
and I mean,
pretty.
it feels like just
okay.
all right.
I guess
I've
what I could
decided.
do is I could just finish it, and if I really don't like it, I could rip it out.
I think you will like it. I don't know that it'll be your always worn. Like, maybe it won't be as worn as some of the other, like, more convenient ones, but you will wear it because you'll, like, purposefully wear it.
I think the other thing is that when I do it like this, it is too big, isn't it? I just think, oh my gosh, this would be so cozy on the couch, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, what if it just sat on the couch and it was just a little, like, you threw it over your shoulders, and that it didn't, like, if you walked around it would fall off, but what if you're just staying put? I think it's so pretty, and I love the way it comes, like, all the different
You know what?
lines.
This just changed it for me, because if I make it like a triangle, the stripes will end up looking like this.
Yes.
And I want it tossed over, which means that I need to knit it as a big triangle. All right, trust the designer. Do the thing.
Especially that designer.
Yeah, it's true.
She knows a little something about some stuff.
Right everywhere. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is a continue, yeah?
Yes.
And actually, it won't take me that long to, it wouldn't take me that long if I'm doing a bunch more repeats. It would be relatively,
Yeah, except that this is the shawl style, or not style, but like where it just gets longer and longer. You think you're almost done, and then you're like,
true,
"Arr!"
it's sneaky.
It just gets bigger and bigger.
To pick up these stitches.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they, the thing about superwash is it really does slip and slide. I'm like, ah!
Yeah, it does.
Can't lose them.
No.
Okay. I was pretty sure this was a keep. It was just like what I do with it. Okay.
It's too pretty to not like. You know what I would say? Even if you cannot make this work, actually, now I'm really thinking about it. If you cannot make this work as a shawl, this would be a gorgeous wall hanging.
Thank you.
Like, it would be beautiful. Can you imagine, like, drape this over like a tree branch or something? Like almost like you do with macrame, but this would be like draped in this.
I am very happy with the colors.
They're so pretty.
Antonella's gorgeousness. I think the other thing is like I have so much of this yarn left that I was like, oh, if I just make a giant shawl, then I'll use more of it. But yay! Now I have to figure out where the heck I am in the pattern though. This is the other thing.
You'll be fine.
Where am I?
Even if you just
Okay.
wing it.
All right. So this is number 1. Thank you. The second one just makes me giggle. Like even when I look at it, I giggle.
Yes.
You see what
I do.
What it is, right? This is the Andrea Mowry. What is it called? Oh my God, what's
it was the
called?
Rhinebeck sweater.
The Rhinebeck sweater. Framed.
Nice.
Framed sweater by Andrea Mowry.
Right?
This is in
obviously.
This is in Newton and my hand spun. I really do love the color. You can't see the frame pattern, which is fine. I just don't know if I should continue it or not.
Well, how much do you like it? Like it is knitting time.
I love this color combination.
Okay.
I think it looks really, really good. This color combo is my favorite. I feel like a kaleidoscope
Great.
which makes me happy.
So why are you even questioning?
Because in order for me to knit it, I have one more braid to spin.
Oh. Okay.
And like it's...
Yeah, that's, I mean, I know. Oh, it's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Part of it is that I took no notes on how I spun this. So I have not a clue how to finish it. I don't think I have enough of the hand spun to be able to finish the sweater. So I have to go back and reverse engineer how the heck I spun this. And because I spun it such a long time ago, I'm fairly certain that I am not gonna, like, it's gonna be really hard for me to get the same weight, because since I spun this, I've spun many things and my default has gotten so much skinnier that I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Okay, here's a question. Can you adapt the pattern to make it like a vest or a slipover?
Oh.
Keeping the framed top, which you could then, you know, that's your knitted in. So you'd only need a little more.
A little extra?
I think you'd have enough with these two to get you that.
Could I, so that it would look like her Vellicore?
Mm-hmm.
That is a very good idea. Can I release the idea of it being a full sweater and make it a vest?
Yes, you can.
I do love the colors.
They're so pretty. They're hilarious when you know what the actual sweater.
Oh yeah. This is just tessellated the second in my mind, you know? Except it's stranded, which I really like. So that's the other thing, is like the knitting process. Yeah. I mean, I have to knit flat back and forth, knit flat back and forth for the, like the upper part, but I don't mind. It wouldn't
be very long. And plus you also can make all the mistakes you want.
It's so true. Screw the pattern. Just start one by one.
Put it anywhere you want. Just randomly like stick it anywhere. Nobody would know.
That's a really good idea to try and mod it. Because actually, now that you say that, I remember when we were at New York Sheep and Wool, I did see somebody who had made it like a
cap sleeve or something.
Like a cap sleeve.
Right.
Like it was a short sleeve and I loved it.
You could definitely get there.
And then it would be done faster and I wouldn't have to worry about.
Yeah. I'm positive you have enough.
Gosh, okay, so this is knitted in. This is the colorway K-A-R-L. Carl? As Canadians, we say Carl, but that's not how you say it in Swedish at all. The like pale green is Tappa, and then the peach is the hand spun, and the hand spun is a merino silk flax. From Melanie there, who just is a genius. Keep?
Well, you're obviously
Finish?
keeping it. Yes.
I did think, could I turn it into a cushion?
You could. That's a lot of work for a cushion, I feel.
You think so?
Well,
I was like, what would I do?
Fun and like
and then I'm gonna be left with this
stranded color work. Oh, you mean a cushion just stopping there?
Yeah, like I would do some ribbing.
You could
seam it up somehow.
Actually, that also is lovely. Both of these things could work. Cowl? You could. Can you get that? Probably wouldn't go around your head twice, eh?
No, I don't think so. Let's see. No. Could I? I'd be like strangled. This head is not making it through that hole. So I could cut it.
You could cut it.
I could cut it.
Yeah.
No, I think I want it as a garment.
I think you should try to make it as a tee or a slipover.
I mean, I guess it would be the same actually, because it would be the same in the sense that I could just finish the top and then see how I feel, because the construction is that you pick up the sleeves and you go down. So I could either end up doing the whole sleeve, or I could just end up adding a rib, which I think how they did it. Yeah. It is really pretty though, right?
It's very pretty.
It's unrecognizable, but I do think it's very pretty.
It's very pretty. It's a little, because I'm trying to look for something, it's crazy making for me to try to look, but if you don't know to try to look for the pattern, it's
I'm not trying to find the quilts. I'm just, it's kind of like a jacquard pattern
That's
that I
right.
like, you know?
It's really pretty.
Okay.
And you want it.
I do want it.
That's happening.
But
and you're partly done too, right? Like you're not even that far from it. So you're going to have a pretty quick, I think you could get this one start before your,
before the night
shawl.
shift?
Yeah. Because you want it, I mean, you gave me the opposite advice when I was doing my whip down to do the thing that I didn't want to do first. So that I still had the motivation. Because the other thing I wanted to get started on, you were like, get the strata done first. The strata.
The way that you said that just hurt
The
me
disgust,
inside.
like disdain.
Yeah. This is
It's a
why I don't
beautiful pattern.
understand process knitters. I'm like, how do you persevere through something that makes you use that tone of voice, which I feel like in the time that I've known you, like not once have you used that tone of voice except for the striata and
every
the
time
tessellated. It's such a weird tone of voice to hear coming out of your mouth.
It's true. This knitting brings so much joy, but these do not. No, they do not.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a project that I started that when I did it, I loved it so much, and then I lost all steam.
Aw.
Okay. It's going to be unrecognizable, so I do need to pull up the pattern.
Like the way you've done it?
Yeah, because it's just a bunch of pieces right now.
I see.
That's not the name of it. Is it the same? Okay.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So this is a Junko Okamoto pattern called the Hannah. It's this beautiful cabled pattern, and when she made it, it's like all one color. Her sample is all cream. But when I saw this version, I thought it's so pretty, sort of color blocked and sort of sheep shades. And really what I wanted to do is I have all of these beautiful bats. Where did they? I lost the project. Hang on. Oh. I have all these beautiful bats from our dear friend Melly Knits. That these beautiful bats, beautiful fiber, all in sheep shades. And when I saw that color block version, they're so beautiful together. I thought I'm gonna do a color blocked Hannah.
Very smart idea.
To use up all these beautiful bats. So I have one panel here. Oh God, when I look at it, it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I have
Hold.
Yeah, another panel here.
Oh, cool.
Then I have
it's so soft.
hand spun a skein. And so when I looked at, this is where I went awry. So I think these two colors look really beautiful together. Then I spun this one and I was like, is this horrible?
No. What do you mean? They all
Does
look
it go?
great. Yes.
So part of it is that like I spun this, then I got uncertain about the color blocking color. And then the other thing that I realized as I was spinning is that I wasn't getting as much yardage as I thought. And so in this version, she basically has 3 different colors, and I will end up with something the way that it's worked out in terms of like the fiber is I will end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different colors.
Right.
9 different sheep shades.
Right. But these sheep
so
shades
I'm
look
not
so
sure
good together.
Like, do you think that if I have 9 different colors, I'm gonna look like a patchwork quilt, not in a good way?
Right, because you're definitely gonna look like a patchwork quilt. That's happening.
Okay, it's unavoidable. It's an unavoidable situation.
Yeah, but not in a bad way, I don't think. That's the whole point.
Yeah, so I should have known this. What I had made a giant plan during National in the Snow, which is when I had my max spinning mojo because everyone was spinning, and I was like, maybe this will be my Tour de Fleece spin project. But what I had like color blocked all of these things so that I had 9 sheep shades that went really nicely together. And so I spun this one. I wasn't sure about the color. I was like, is it too like not taupey enough? Like, is it leaning too honey and yellow? And then the other thing that happened is that I spun the other like the next color. And again, I'm a spinner, I should know. Some of the bats that I'd put aside that color match really well are medium wools. And so I knew when I spun it, I was like, oh, it's not, even though I spun it as a 3-ply, it doesn't have the gorgeous springy plumpy-ness that this one has. So here are my options. One is I just take this as a super slow project and just wait for the next set of bats in a more springy wool.
Which will happen for sure.
Which will happen for sure. It's doable. To do the patchwork hand-spun patchwork Hannah of my dreams. Or one of the options is the pattern is essentially knit. There's like a front, there's a back, and then there's the sleeves. And so I do have like a half sweater's quantity of a color that's really similar to this one, maybe a little bit more camel-y. And what I could do is have one side patchwork and the rest of it.
I think that's smart.
And the rest of it a solo color.
And it's hand spun too, the other one that you have? Like, yeah,
like I have enough of the bat, I've done a test spin, and I'm like, oh, it will come out.
I like that idea.
So enough. So it'll be like the front, there's going to be a patchwork front panel, then the sleeves and the back would all be one solid color.
I like it.
Do you think that works?
Yes, I do.
What do we think, friends?
I definitely think so.
Because I was kind of like, is it gonna look not cute in the sense that it'll look like she ran out of wool, which is true. And so just decided to add a bunch of things.
I think if it was just the front, that makes sense. If it was just the front and part of the sleeves, it might, well, no, even that could work, like the top part of the sleeve. Yeah, I think you can make this work.
So I have a bunch of, like, again, I'm in this sort of place where there's like a bunch of decisions, and I feel like the decisions that I have to make are like breaking my brain. But when I look at it here, I really do like it.
It's really pretty.
I think part of my like paralysis is that all of these projects that I have, I'm like, if I don't start working on these, they're gonna languish and they'll never get done.
Yeah.
And everything's like beautiful. I feel like beautiful enough that I don't really want to get rid of it.
Yes, but you don't want to necessarily like deep dive into it as well. Like, and
that's
just be
my
only
thing.
on
Is
it.
like I feel like there's such unsurmountable tasks in my brain right now.
Yep.
It's like the crappy part of knitting. You know how like you're like, oh no, I have to split for sleeves, or like, oh no, I have to like pick up for the button band. I feel like everything is
in that part
and not guaranteed either. So
yes. And you have to also re-pick up a pattern that you've already done, which means learning, even though that might be nothing to learn the pattern again, you still have to, and like that can be daunting to me to even do that as well. Oh no, I had it. I was gonna say something and then Hilla from Danish Musings. I was watching her, I think it was her most recent one or the one right before, and she was talking about a project that is taking, it's a lot of time project kind of thing, and that she doesn't want to devote everything to, so she does 45 minutes on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Every
to make
Tuesday.
a time block.
And I want to knit that fungus shawl.
Oh god, it's so beautiful.
I have to just cast it on and do it, because then Jackie can knit it, because I told her she can't knit it before me, because if she does, then I'm never going to finish it and all this. But anyway, I'm like, that's what I'm going to use for my Tuesday knitting. So like, what if you work on this on Tuesdays for 45 minutes?
I have a slot. Hang on, we need to show this pattern because it's just ridiculously gorgeous.
It's so worth it. It's just going to take
the
forever.
Fungus Shawl Cardigan Light. Look at it, by Refined Knitwear.
And I bought the wool for it in the original wool. I finally sourced it. It was very hard to get in
It's just US
Canada. 3.0
and 2.5, 3.0 millimeter, 2.5 millimeter needles, all in moss stitch.
What's the actual
That's not
date
gonna
or
be.
something? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Do you want to know?
No. I don't
No.
think
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, I feel like I need a win. Like I feel like I need to cast on something.
Yeah,
that is
something
like
good.
Not, because I think this one I really do want, like, oh man.
See, the thing is, you do want this, so
I do want
make
this.
this happen so that you can get at least these ones.
These ones.
Yeah. Are you done with these? Is that it? Like, you don't have any more? Okay. And
Yeah.
then
So I have like one more panel to do for the front, and then it would all be like one. It just feels like
you'd be done for the front. Like, you only have one more panel. Perfect.
Yeah. It's like, you know, when you knit a Tori U pattern, you just follow the instructions, you know it's gonna work out well. Yeah. Whereas all of these are like, oh, are they gonna work out? Which,
it's hard. You need it. Yeah, you're right. You need a win amidst this. You can't have only these right now.
These are all languishing. I think actually in talking this out, I think this just needs to rest a little while because there's so many steps to this.
Yep. So then you want to get going on
the night shift one. I think I want to get going.
Okay.
The night shift, because I think that could be a win.
Yeah, that will be a win. It will be a win, and so will the other Andrew Mowry. That like the slip-over version of framed.
What I really want to cast on though, is the Obsidian.
Yes.
By Tanya Barley.
Yes. That's a color work one, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is so
because
pretty.
Nothing makes me feel like I'm winning quite as much as color work.
Really? Mm-hmm. That might be my like cables or something. I love cables.
So I have 2 color stories, and would love your input. Okay, so this is her sample. This beautiful color work. And I was able to actually snag the sample, like the main color.
Give it to me. What is that? What is this?
It's Shetland.
Oh, this is the woolen twine.
Welsh Mountain in DK from Woolen Twine. It's my first woolen twine purchase, and I friggin' get it. I get it.
I have a sock set I need to cast on.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
I love this.
It's so stunning. And when I bought it, my thought was that I would really do a version of it just like hers, except even though my yarn pantry has about 16 million grays in it, I couldn't find a gray in my stash that goes with this.
That's these things happen. It doesn't make sense. And if you ever saw our stashes, you would be like, this is impossible. And yet it happens all the time. I have to buy more wool. I'm like, how can I not have a thing that matches?
There's a gray that works, but I feel like, I don't know if you can appreciate that it's a cool gray that somehow has charcoal in it, but is somehow, like, I don't know if it's warm or, like, it's somehow both very warm and very cool at the same time, where, like, it has a warm tone, like, it reads cool.
I see what you're saying, but it's very cool, too, though.
Okay, so, I'm going to be casting this on. This will be the next cast on because I'm casting this on with Hilla from Danish Musings and Andrea from Knit LA. And we've been talking about it for forever. And I think if it doesn't get on the needles, it will never get on the needles. But
that's perfect.
Hilla was like, I think I want to do a fade. And then my brain was like, okay, I absolutely want to do a fade. And so I have all of these like single mohairs.
These, when I walked in and I saw these all together, I'm like, these are incredible together.
And so what I can't decide is, can you hold this?
Yes, I was just gonna say, I should hold some things for you here.
I can't decide if I go with the, mohair down. If I go, how am I gonna hold this all? If I go cool toned,
I love that. I love
maybe
that.
even drop this one. If I go cool toned with blue or not.
I like that one still in there.
You like that one?
Otherwise it becomes
too
pastel-y. Yeah.
Do I do this?
Beautiful.
Do I include the pink?
Beautiful. You would do 4?
I would fade. I was thinking about fading these colors. I don't know if it'll work, or if I add all of those, like if I add those 2 in. See, that one.
I like this with this.
See, I like that by itself.
Yeah.
Like, I think just that is ridiculously gorgeous. But I also love the idea of the fade. So I don't know if I just do, like, just solo that.
This reminds me, actually, this combo reminds me of the sex shawl.
Yeah. Which is the diatom shawl, just to be clear. We'll link it below.
The reason it's a sex shawl is
because it feels so good.
I really love, okay, so do the fade because that's beautiful if you want, but this also is like, whoa, perfect.
Just the solo?
Unless it's what you don't want.
Tempting. Would I do these or would I add more? Oh god, I can't hold them all.
Yeah.
Do I like the blue? Do we keep the blue?
So when I was originally thinking it, I was thinking the blue just on its own. Before you talked about a fade. Because I was thinking actually your blue, like if you wanted to do Nutidin or something with it. Is it in a mohair or is it, right?
No, but I think it will easily translate.
Gorgeous to me
That is
too.
really gorgeous. I think part of my hesitation around this is that I feel like this leans warm. Do you see how it's like warm? Like this reads warmer.
Yep.
Like it's almost like there are like ashy tones in here.
Like you think it wouldn't suit you as well? Or you just don't want it to be
I think that part of what makes it so gorgeous is the ashy tone that's not obvious, and I kind of want to highlight the ashy tone.
Well, that highlights it for sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I kind of feel like there's blue. It almost looks like there's blue.
There's blue inside of it, and I think that it's a really gorgeous. It's just such a gorgeous thing that I think that there are other sheep shades that I could put this with that would be equally gorgeous.
Sure.
But
what if you did, I mean, that would also, it's going to look great. I feel like it's going to very much change the look of it. You're going to have multiple colors, right? So there's just like a lot going on.
What I would do is I think this would be a fade. I would fade these three together. And then some people have, like if I've looked at the tester's version, some people have done a 3-color one in which they take certain sections and they do it in sort of like a contrast color. So I think I would be fading these 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then have pops of blue.
I mean, that would be beautiful.
Thoughts? Oh, I do like it when I look at it like this. You're like,
my Koivua, which I didn't like the fit of, and I never really wore, but I did it was more of a blue, but it was with this color, and it was all like color work, and I think that it just was unbelievable.
I think I also am just in a cool tone mood. This is Dirty Weekend from Sonder Yarn.
This does not feel warm.
You don't think that feels warm? Okay, maybe it's just in my head.
No. Personally, no. I can see what you mean in terms of maybe it pulls it a little bit, but it still looks...
It's still really pretty,
because the blue is still there, right? And I feel like that looks nice.
All right. Votes, please.
We know where Carmen stands.
We know where Carmen stands. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's possible that I start, as often happens for me with color work, as I think that I'm going to work with a palette like while it's on the like table, and then once... the moment that I actually start knitting it, I'll probably know. So I'm just gonna have to cast on. Okay, that is my 2 on the needles next.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay, thank you for all your help. I already feel like my mojo is back.
Good.
I have a sense of what's gonna go on my needles, and I think that I do think that this will be a win.
Oh, it will be a win, and especially since you love color work, like that's exactly what you want to get. The only thing will be to pull yourself away from it in order to knit the other ones.
The other ones?
Things.
45 minutes on a Tuesday.
There you go.
That's going to be my thing.
That's right.
Tuesday time. Okay.
I've known about this for a couple weeks, and have I done the Tuesday time? But I like the idea.
Here's the deal we're going to make. When you cast on your fungus shawl cardigan light, I'll go back to that.
Tonight.
Accountability.
Well, I have to golf tonight. Maybe not tonight. See, and then that's it. Tomorrow's Tuesday. You would think that I should be able to get that in there.
Okay. So just the one more thing.
Yeah.
You want to put yours on? Actually, there's one piece that I forgot that I wanted to do. Okay, so we've had a lot of conversations on this podcast about gifting sweaters.
Or stealing them.
Stealing sweaters.
Being
and
forced
for those
to
of you who don't know, April is Carmen's birthday month.
Yes!
And so...
Aries fire.
Yes. I brought...
Wait a second.
Sweaters for you.
No! Jackie,
I'm not wearing.
Gave me this.
I'm just not wearing them, and they need to be worn.
Oh my god! Ah, Jackie! Do I choose or I get to wear both of them?
You can pick both of them. I've reserved the right to bring these sweaters back.
Always.
But
Always.
they have not been worn in a year.
I
would like them on a body.
I remember
like
this
them
and
on a
wanting
body.
to.
Yeah.
Did I buy wool for this to make it and then I never did?
Yeah. Sure. You sure did.
Jackie, that is so lovely. Oh my gosh. And by June, I will have a bunch for you.
No, I don't need any, well, other than the,
the levitate. No,
levitate
not
wrap.
happening. I love you, but no.
I was like reorganizing my yarn stuff, and I was like, these sweaters are way too beautiful to not be worn. I'm gonna bring them to somebody who can wear them before it gets too hot.
Oh my god! I'm gonna put these on after we do our whatever we're doing here. I don't even know. I just listened to Jackie. She says put that on. Oh my god! It's so pretty, Jackie! Yay! Thank you.
Okay, so this is my last finished object. You may have seen already.
Poor Jackie had to make another because of me. Beautiful.
This is the Seton sweater.
Oh my god, it's gorgeous.
By Marie Wallin, which I knit as a part of our year-long cal, BallinforWallin. That was the original one that when Carmen put on, I was like, that needs to be Carmen's sweater. And I loved knitting this so much that it took me like a beat to be like, I'm gonna knit it again. There were a couple things about this sweater that I thought that I loved more on Carmen, and then thought, for me, I wanna, there are certain things like I found for that version that the stripes were really wide. They were really beautiful, but they were sort of like wide stripes. And again, this was probably more in my head, but in my head, I was like, the stripes are really wide. And so I think it's beautiful, but I actually would like skinnier stripes. And so what I did is I used the motifs from the Yell cardigan, and I just subbed them and used the Seton pattern with the Yell charts from here to here. And then because I loved this like sort of band,
that was so pretty.
I went back to the
already,
Seton.
Didn't you? Or was this?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say I don't
That's
even think
right.
that was originally the Seton.
This top motif comes from the book Erin. It's another pattern, but I couldn't fit the Seton thing because my row gauge was off. So they're finished. I'm finished.
It looks gorgeous on you, Jackie.
Love this so much.
It's so beautiful.
It was such a joy to knit, and I do have notes for that will be popping up on Ravelry with all the colorway names, and then also how the modifications that I made. So really quickly, this pattern has a very wide size range. I think I actually took out 2 whole pattern repeats in order to land at a 46-inch bust size. So the smallest size, I took out 2 repeats of the charts in order to make it 46 inches. I think the pattern goes up to, I can't remember now, like 70 something.
Oh, great.
In terms of the bust size, quite easily modifiable, but because I adjusted the numbers, there is some shoulder shaping that I had to adjust, which was super easy to do. Knitted and single-stranded is my favorite. It has become my favorite way to knit with knitted in. It just is the perfect temperature. It allows me to use all the scraps.
And do you mean in general, or when you're doing stranded color work?
In general. So when I gave you the sweater, I had finished the body of this, and I could not have knit the sleeves faster. I was like highly motivated to finish the sleeves because I just love this weight garment. I took it with me traveling, and it was like, I had other sweaters with me, and it was like, if I needed a sweater for any reason, like this was the one that I threw on. It just feels so nice. So we technically finished our knits for the BallinforWallin cal. I know that there are a number of you who are still.
Does this count?
This counts.
It counts when I didn't even do anything?
I guess it doesn't. But I feel like it
sounds crazy.
It does sound crazy.
Great.
I look at it and I'm like, well, Carmen's done. Like that's what I think. When I look at it, I think
so true.
There you are. Yeah. So there are a number of you who have already cast on, who are in process. In terms of the cal, we have a We have the hashtag BallinforWallin.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a little thread in our Ravelry group, which we'll link below, for people who are doing any Marie Wallin patterns, because the cal is for, like, it's like anything by Marie Wallin between now and the end of the year.
Yes.
And there will be prizes.
You don't have to do the color work either. Like, she has other options like cables and
so on and so forth. And so there's like a nice little group of folks who are in process in the Ravelry page, which makes me now want to knit another one, like another Seton. I'm like, oh my gosh, the colors and the way that people are pairing. There are some moody dark versions that are happening that I'm like, I need a moody dark version, so on and so forth. But yeah.
Wonderful.
BallinforWallin.
BallinforWallin.
Is there anything else that we want to say about that? About that knit along?
Do we want to say, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so we want to address, like, when we've gone back and forth, when we first thought of the whole BallinforWallin, like doing a Marie Wallin cal, we actually didn't look into her patterns. We weren't familiar with her patterns.
Yeah. We were basically working with this particular
one, which happened to have a fairly wide, well, as you're saying, a wide size range to it, right? And so then we announced this. I mean, and we don't think about things very much, right? So we're like, let's do a cal, and we kind of like thought of that during the episode, basically. I don't even know, did we even talk about it?
We asked about whether anybody would want to do a cal, and a bunch of people were like, yes, we would like to do the cal, let's do the Seton. And then some people were like, but I have a lot of Marie Wallin things that are languishing, could we include all of her patterns? And we were like, of course, let's include all of her patterns.
And at that point, that's all we knew, right? We didn't have anything else. We didn't know, and we didn't go any further into looking at Marie Wallin's catalog. All we knew was that she had like thousands, basically. Like, I don't know, like so 20 pages or something.
Many patterns.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So then after we announced the cal, then we had some people contacting us. Thank you so much, bringing to our attention that it's not, a lot of her patterns actually are not very size inclusive, which of course then we're like, well, because for both of us, like, the last thing we would ever want is for somebody not to feel included in something. Like, that to me, like, actually like turns my stomach to think that that might be how people feel. So then we're like, do we cancel it? Do we change it? We were like, maybe we do a magnum opus cal where you can choose, just do a pattern that you, because part of this was, am I ever going to knit a Marie Wallin pattern? I'm not going to do it unless I have like a cal, and even so, I may not. But we thought about changing it, but then that loses the structure of the cal, or the like it becomes so wide that then it's hard for people to get to know each other in the forums and stuff, because they're doing, what we liked was that you're doing something similar to another person, right? And so I hope this is okay with everyone. We decided that we wanted to try to continue with the cal, because we did think to ourselves, okay, the Seton is at least an option, and that was what we were originally going to do to begin with. There's also other possibilities if you want to knit Marie Wallin, like there's accessories, and other, I mean, I may do an accessory just because I don't know if I want to do a huge amount of color work. Like, maybe I just want a cal. So anyway, we're going to run it as it is, but just know that, like, everyone's welcome, and we never want anyone to feel not welcome. If you feel like you don't want to be part of the cal because you're like, I want to take a stand, saying like, I'm not going to knit a designer that's not size inclusive, completely understand. And our next cal will be size inclusive.
We will work
on it.
We will do some research.
And not just off the cuff. Right?
Announce it. I think the other thing that there are a whole number of things that we didn't anticipate. And one of the things that came up that we were not so aware of was the sense somehow that when you're participating in a cal, like, you have to do a giant project, like that, like the only option was a sweater, and that somehow doing an accessory makes you less part of the knit along.
Right.
And so if that was reflected in the way that we spoke, I just want to make clear that from our perspective, we wanted to tackle a pattern together that maybe if you didn't have the momentum that you would be able to. We wanted to do something together, and that I don't think that there is like something that's more like one pattern that's more worth it than the other from my perspective.
Never.
I'm looking at, I finished this. I am very tempted to cast on another one, but in fact, what I'm looking at is one of her cowls, which is the Burra cowl, which is like super gorgeous. And I think that that might be my next knit for Marie Wallin.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes. All yes. Nothing. Yeah. I like what you said there. That's exactly, and would never even consider that to be anything less. It's just being, the whole point of it is just to be part of things and to do something with another group, because that's all, to me, that's what a cowl is. Like it's joining in with another group of people and knowing that they're doing something that you're doing. And which is why maybe down the way we do a magnum opus like cowl, maybe we do, but we didn't want to spread it so thin that you're then thinking, okay, so I mean, people are knitting all kinds. Like if we just did like, you know, let's say like a Fair Isle or like color work, it would be too wide maybe. I don't know, maybe it wouldn't. But we just wanted to stick with what we were wanting to do originally, hoping that that gives enough coverage for everyone.
Yeah, it also reminded me of, I think we talked about this in one of our previous episodes, the like Andrea Mowry Rhinebeck sweater knit along. And although, you know, I started to do that, what I discovered was my favorite part of it was actually what, like, again, as somebody who loves color work, like I loved seeing all the other people's versions and seeing the versions sort of inspired me to look at like different color combinations and things that I wouldn't normally put together. And I think that was sort of what I thought would happen with the Marie Wallin cowl, is that it would actually inspire all kinds of color work. That's what it was for me, like a little bit more.
Because it was originally the Seton, right?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I, you know, of those of you who have participated already, I've seen that there have been a couple connections that have been made. There was somebody who was stuck on a pattern and found somebody who was stuck on one of the patterns and like couldn't figure out what to do in the instructions. No, there was something. There was some part of the pattern that they were like, I'm stuck, I don't understand, and was able to find somebody else who was knitting that pattern, and they've been able to like support each other, and like that was really the intention of it, or the hope around it.
Exactly.
And I myself have been so inspired from a color combination perspective.
It is so exciting.
And so our hope is, whether you like Marie Wallin patterns, whether you like color work patterns or not, that it just gives us an opportunity to play and be inspired and participate in something together, whether you're knitting the same thing or not. Right?
I like it.
So we are also always wanting to run knit-alongs because we love the community aspect so much, and we also recognize that seemingly a lot of the knit-alongs start and then we never end up actually knitting along with the knit-alongs.
Well, is that fully accurate, or is this actually how it goes down? Jackie knits something and loves it and then wants to knit it again, or has other things, and then decides that we should do a knit-along, and I say, yeah, like let's do a knit-along, and then I don't participate in the knit-along.
Or the other thing that happens is that you knit something and I'm like, I want it so much, and so
I don't want to do it anymore.
So on and so forth.
I am not as I don't do as many.
You're like the starter of the knit along.
Sometimes,
like you're the usually
maybe
you're
I inspire it, but I don't.
You inspire.
But I never say let's do a knit. It's very rare for me to say let's do a knit along.
It's true. So
because that's just organization.
Which you
don't
do
even
so
think
well.
about it. I don't even think about it because my brain says as if you should try that. It just.
What do you have coming up on the needles, or are you dream knitting anything?
I have some wool. I have a bunch of wool that I've bought for projects. I'm in a phase, as I'm saying, of like getting the original, like liking patterns and saying, I just want to knit that. Like I really loved it in that, and I'm going to get it in that wool. And so I basically bought a bunch of stuff in that wool, or that wool. And now I have to actually do the knitting. That's the weird thing.
The kits that you've bought, or the kits that you have kitted up for yourself, you're gonna knit.
Yeah,
the kits?
And I think that the fact that I bought the wool for it, for some reason, I'm more likely to knit it. I don't know why, because you'd think that a kit. I have a lot of kits. Have we established? Have I ever actually knit a kit? I've knit the wool, but what I do is I then repurpose the.
Yeah, you normally buy a kit And then you,
Do
because you
something else
love, you know, you buy a kit.
I have
and then
all
you don't,
good thoughts that I'm going to
Yeah.
knit it. I'm going to knit that exact thing.
Yeah. And then you don't knit the pattern, but you do use the yarn combination. I feel like that's what happens.
Yes.
You like, yes.
Or I use part of the yarn combination and then that's like, then that's gone. So let's say I'll grab the mohair from a kit, which is what I did with my gold sweater. That was supposed to be another red wave in Dirty Weekend.
Oh.
So now I have the
main color, but not the fingering. But what you're saying is that is distinctly different for you. So I do think you have a little bit of a kit. I'm gonna call it the kit curse, which is when you buy a kit, you get really inspired and then you don't end up knitting the thing, which is fine because you just use the wool for something else. Like you're
eventually.
Anyway,
it's not like I have wool sitting around.
But what you're saying is that if you buy a sweater's quantity of yarn, in the like you see a pattern comes out and you're like, I love it exactly as it is, I'm gonna buy the yarn. There's no curse.
Well, I'm along the line. I haven't finished, but I've got one under my belt. And I have another, okay, so the fungus shawl, that's gonna be a cast on. The fungus shawl light, I bought the wool exactly because Nina, if you haven't checked out Nina's podcast, but I'm blanking on the name. We're gonna have it in the show notes. She's this lovely artist. Oh my God, I've talked about her because my tattoo, that's the swallow here. I actually asked, she's a watercolor artist, and I asked her to paint a swallow that I could then have as a tattoo. And then I also have this as a print. Anyway, whatever. She was talking about, she knit the fungus shawl light, which is the reason that I am knitting it. And she said she went and she loved it so much that she got the actual wool. So I did that as well. So I'm gonna do it in the actual wool, and I feel like that.
I mean, because it's perfect. Sometimes, well, it's not that you can't improve. Sometimes what one loves about a knit is everything about the knit.
That's,
you know?
Yes.
Like it's the drape, it's the color, it's the like everything.
Like every time I would open up the Cardigan number 9 like file, like on my iPad, I would scroll. It would often be at the beginning, right? So I'd scroll and I'd see that picture of the red and be like, like that's coming to me. I'm doing it. Like, so it's motivating.
Yeah.
So the fungus shawl, I'll be like thinking about that beautiful designer, you know, wearing it, and Nina Polly.
Yeah,
her thing.
If you look up Nina Polly on YouTube, I'm like
Polli.
I'm like, I don't think her podcast has a name.
I thought it did.
In any case, if you put into YouTube, we'll link it below, but if you put into YouTube Nina Polly,
it's beautiful podcast.
Honestly. It's like the opposite of our podcast.
It's the opposite of our podcast.
It's short.
Yep.
There's a lot of beautiful B-roll. She takes all of the time to like speak about things.
She lives in
articulate and succinct, and you just look at France and her color, like it's
and
like
she's just sitting in her beautiful living room. Like everything's beautiful, and everything that she wears is beautiful, and it all goes together in this beautiful way. And she just says a few sentences about everything. And 20 minutes, and you're like, and I'm good.
I know. It's very hot.
I feel like we all often get comments like, this is too long. And it's like, okay, well, yes, maybe it is. But I understand the reasoning. I do understand why a short,
it's so
concise
lovely.
thing is really lovely.
It's one of those podcasts that I like save to watch because it's so
really
energetically and visually pleasing. And I'm like, okay, I have 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I'm not throwing this on like in between like work blocks. Like this is like, I have to sit, I'm going to put it up, and I often don't knit during it because I'm just like, it's so beautiful. Like I don't want to be distracted by anything.
This is it. And I can somehow make it 18 minutes not being distracted. I cannot make it 3 hours. But we're not expecting you to watch us.
No.
You can be knitting the whole time and drinking your tea
and taking
put it
pauses
on and put it off and everything.
We're like, you know, that's what I said. We're like the opposite of Nina's. It's like, I expect that people are like doing their chores and they need some like white noise in the background, and that's us. And every so often they like
some people
peek,
fall asleep to us.
Yes,
so sweet,
which is very sweet.
Yeah. So that was my long-winded way of my
what's coming next.
Knitting. Yes, and I've got another project that I showed you there.
I am I have a lot of whips and a lot of stuff on my needles, but always, I would love some ideas. I feel like I would love some spring ideas.
Ideas.
Give me ideas.
She doesn't need more ideas. She has enough ideas. Jackie.
I need ideas of some straightforward spring summer wins in which I just go out and I buy the pattern and I buy the yarn that is used in the pattern and I knit the dang thing.
Why are you buying more yarn?
Because I want to win. I want a mindless project. I want
and you have
to
no wool. You have no yarn
so
at
yarn.
all in your stash that you could use.
You know what I should do? That's a really good point. I should look through the project pages of yarn that I already have in stash.
Yes.
That would be
will
smart.
feel good too. I think it was Leanne from the Knitty Stew. She was just talking. Yes, she was talking about how she recently like did a swatch of wool she had a lot of, like yarn she had a lot of. Did a swatch, found a fabric she liked, and then found a pattern to fit that. And I was like, that's
a really
smart.
cool way to do a process.
Yeah, and she ended up. I think that one, and she ended up with the garden Angestrick.
By Angestrick.
I want to make that one too. I have so many freaking projects. There's so many that I have.
I know, that's why I asked what you wanted to like knit next, because I feel like when we had the conversation, you were like my needles are full for the next like 7 months.
When we had the conversation
about I can't remember what we were talking about, but you were just like,
I
know everything that I have so many things to knit.
I do have some
like your list. Like I feel like you have a long list and you have a queue that is actually going to get execued as opposed to my queue, which never gets executed. Yeah, it's very exciting.
The only thing I'm not going to execute is our cow. The one thing I'm supposed to execute, probably not going to happen.
Well, no. To be fair, you started and it didn't give you joy, and then you stopped, which is what we should all do all of the time. If it doesn't give you joy, stop.
Truth, but maybe you should give it a little more than a centimeter into the ribbing with Nutidin that was quite breaky, and you just are like, I don't like this.
But the color story was going to be so good.
Was going to be great, but you know what?
It's going to be great. No, life's too short.
I might change it
knit with yarn.
Mortar or something. Something dark. I'm doing a dark one. Well, if I do it.
If you do
it. It'll be a dark one.
You could knit the cowl with me. It's the same number of colors.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. I'm feeling spring. It's feeling
It's
hard.
true.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a like color work.
No. I am everything in my queue until we talked today was cables. I was just like cables, and then I got home and I was like, you can't be knitting cables now. I wanted to knit all cables and everything in like navy blue. And I was like, what? No.
Yeah, you're into this navy.
I still haven't knit it. I love navy. I've been obsessed with navy, and every single navy, like every single pattern that came out that was in navy blue, I was like, I want it. Or like whatever
and
pattern.
If you watch our last few podcasts,
it
would be like, oh, I really like, I'll show something. I would really like this in a navy blue.
Yeah. I have the yarn, friends. I have the yarn. I don't need to buy more navy blue yarn, but it doesn't seem right because it's spring, even though it actually does
my
seem right.
shawl is going to be in a navy.
We were talking about, Hilla and Andrea and I were talking about this pattern and like in this color, and I was like, it doesn't seem like the right color for spring. However, in actual fact, spring and summer is when one should be knitting with these dark colors so that your eyes don't break. So really, I should get on my navy blue whatever.
Yes. That would be hard to be on my lap if I was sitting outside.
This one?
Like these, if like this together, like I just feel like that would be very hot.
Well,
I don't know if that would. But it's still cool right now.
It's not yet. It's like April
just
in
get
Canada.
on it. It's
and
not
then
April.
Oh
no, is it April today?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow's April, right?
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself. Those of you who live in Southern Ontario will understand. Spring does not arrive for at least another 6 weeks.
At least.
We have one snow that's going to happen. And it's also still in the minus degrees in the evening. But the spirit of spring is here. And so I'm like, spring tops, rosy pink. Like, that's all I want on my
I'm wearing a dress right now with no stockings. Stockings! I said stockings.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm into spring.
Well, I will say I walked in and Carmen's in this cute little dress, like tank top, skirt. And I'm like,
I run hot, people.
You do run hot. You do run hot, but you're wearing Uggs on your feet. just to keep everything toasty. Right. But I did giggle because I was just like, it is warm outside, but I was like, whoa, spring is here. Summer is here.
Summer's here.
For Carmen.
Mid-summer's here. I said it, I'm like that, like, you know, there was always that kid in school, or high school at least, that would like come to school in shorts when it was way too early for shorts, but they just were, you know, or maybe Canadians, yeah. We're a hardy bunch.
We're just really, like, we get overly optimistic about spring. It happens every year. Every year.
And then we just had an ice storm, and we were like, how will there be? And like, we know there's going to be another ice. Well, there's probably going to be snow again one more time.
Okay, I have one cozy knit in me before spring actually hits.
Good. I think you need to cast that on today.
I'll cast it on tomorrow.
Oh.
I think I'm going to work on that today. I'm going to work on the night shift shawl today.
Okay. I like it.
And resist the urge to cast on the levitate. Wait, I just had a thought. Do you think I could use this yarn for the levitate wrap?
Yes. Unless
this
you're
DK Surrey with
no,
I'm not taking it away. But I was just thinking about yarn options that I have in stash.
That would totally work.
And I have some of this was again, we'll link the episode
double,
below.
Or was it just?
It's one strand of DK Surrey and one strand of like regular Surrey.
Oh yeah, this would be amazing.
And I have this I have that in stash, and could cast on the levitate wrap tonight with stash yarn.
Okay, that's a real detour from everything that we literally just talked about. And you don't even want to cast on the thing you really wanted. You were just talking about. That can't happen tonight. But no, now I'm not going to finish the wrap. I'm going to cast this on.
This is the mood I'm in. This is my like I can't decide what I want mood.
Yeah, but that's how it rolls. It's like, actually, I think you should do that because that's actually where the fire
joy is.
Yeah. Do it.
All right. Well, we will see you again.
Some point in the next, we think, 6
Yeah,
weeks.
so we what's happening? We will be at Knit City Montreal, which is the May long weekend. We're super excited
15th?
to be in Montreal, to hopefully see some of you who are local and able to make it to that show. And so we'll probably have an episode before that. Yeah. And who knows what will be on and off the needles.
Always a mystery.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us.
We love you guys.
Thank you for being you and following your joy and knitting what you love and sharing all of that with us. And for providing us with so much inspiration and inspiration not only about beautiful things to knit, but to really sort of like deeper thoughts.
Absolutely.
Other than like the production of it. We appreciate you so much. And we'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye. Love you guys.